Hey, hello everyone. My name is Fletch, and welcome to the
And I'm
Dynamic Duo. And today, of course, with me, the Batman to my Robin is Chopper Fett.
Hey guys, how's it going? We're here on Fletch's channel. Oh, look at the audible applause for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are live here, so this
That's
could be
right.
awkward.
Hit us up in the chat. Oh my God, we're gonna be winging it throughout. Like all the recorded videos that we did, and we normally just kind of script stuff out in a sense, and then we riff off each other. And here is going to be a lot of boo-boos and stuff. So as much as possible, we'll try to keep the script and try and keep to some of the topics as well. And I think what would be great if you could join us later on. I'll put a link in the chat to let you know about what we'll be doing, and then we'll see how it goes from there. But I think today what we'll be doing is we'll be talking about a few things. The first of which, of course, is how we've gone through our setups on being a motor vlogger, right? On helmets and motorcycles as well. And also what we'll do is we'll talk a bit about how we will try and help the other guys out there and try and help them push awareness of their websites and channels as well. Yeah, and of course we have a guest today with us, Diesel Hogs Vlog. Had to make sure I get that right. And what we'll do is I'll bring him in just a minute, and then later on I'll put the link in the side chat and let you guys know that you can come and join us. But here's a couple of things though. StreamYard is such that we have a maximum of about 6 people on. So if we have about 6 people on, what we'll do, and really please, I do hope you understand, apologies right now that I'll have to ask you to leave so we can get other people in. But if it's just 6 people watching this thing anyway, then it's fine, right? As it is now. Anyway, so I'd like to say hello to Ride. You're right. Hello. How's it going? And like to say hello to
508
what's up, Bob?
What's up, Bob?
508 Dyna, how's it going? Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. So
508 put
what
out
we'll
a good
do
video
is-
today.
Sorry?
508 put out a good video today.
I know, I was watching it as well, and I was watching his other one as well. Anyway, before so the first topic is we're talking about motor vlogs, and I'm going to invite our guest for today, and it's Diesel Hogs.
How you doing?
Hey, how's it
Round of
going, man?
applause.
Hey
Nice.
man, welcome.
Yeah. Trying to
How
be-
you guys doing? How you doing?
Good.
We're
So why
winging
don't you
it.
tell
We're
us a
doing
little bit
good.
about yourself.
I'm doing. Actually, was late getting home, so I got in the house, jumped in the shower, hammered my supper, and ripped downstairs to get on here.
Oh
So
my God.
it was close. Yeah.
You just got home from work, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
Nice.
excellent.
It's-
So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your channel?
well, I am really new. I literally started just over a month ago. My first video actually came out a month ago, and it was just a introduction sort of thing. But I didn't have all my vlogger gear yet. Some things really took time. So did that, and then that lube up for a quickie was just kind of a spoof on AMSOIL. I am an AMSOIL user, so I was just kind of asking the question, what do you run in your bike? Not trying to sell anything, just curious what people are using in their machines, and if you use the different oils in your transmission and your primary, or if you just run the 2050 through it and stuff. And then I did 7-question challenge. I was challenged by Outback Outlaw, so I got to do that. And then I had a kind of a big wait period there where I was waiting for I had ordered this Ulanzi case. I'm running the GoPro Hero 7 Black, and I couldn't get the mic adapter. That took forever, so I got help from another vlogger actually in the US, got it for me, because GoPro didn't even have them.
Oh my God.
And then I did my first actual moto vlog. I only put it out 3 days ago, and that was my joke there with my mask on for Anonymous Biker USA. Just gonna hide like he does. I thought it was kind of funny. He's one of my favorite vloggers for sure. But yeah, so only 3 days ago, my 2-wheel therapy one came out, and then I wanted to get more content. I'm trying to be more consistent. Like I said, I only have 45 subscribers, so just getting it kicked in the butt here. But did that, and I screwed up in my garage. So just, you know, the 7 P's, right? Proper pre-planning prevents piss poor performance. Well, I didn't do that, so I got my bike apart. So it was a real exercise in taking your bike apart and putting it back together for no reason. So yeah, and so that's about it. I really don't have a big story to tell yet with my channel. I've had such good help. You know, I've gotten advice from lots of the big channels. Scouse Adventures has had me on his live streams on Friday nights. So that's been a lot of fun getting to know all you guys. And Prairie Boy helped me with Prairie Boy 77 with my two-wheel therapy. We got a bit of a joke we did together at the beginning of it. So it was awesome that he kicked in and helped. And yeah, endless advice from all you guys. Actually, Chopper, I think you and I have talked at direct message before, and so can't say enough about how awesome this bike community is for helping each other out. So doing the same thing when I see a channel with 5 subscribers, I'm all over you know, signing up and watching their videos and help everybody. So and so being on here tonight with you two guys, this is great. It's crazy. I'm a nobody.
We can all say that we started off with nothing, and I think a lot of the guys that on the side chat, like Dad and Matt, for instance. Hello, Dad and Matt. Hey, John, how's it going? You know, they've all been great help, and I think they got excellent content. And we're here to help each other out. That's what Support MVC is all about, anyway. And I'm a big supporter of that, as much as possible. Even though I'm also a pretty small channel. As much as I can, I'll try, and if I have someone that subscribed to me and nobody knows about them and they're up and coming vlogger, I would try and give a shout out as much as I can.
I did see that hashtag, so sorry. Yeah, I did see that hashtag support them, and I think I'll. So yeah, you don't care if people put that in, right, with their stuff?
No. It's part of a group that was started off by I think Dirty D's and a few others.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, as you can see, you're actually in your video here. You're actually going through the whole setup of. What do you walk us through? A little bit of your setup.
Ripping the door off my. I just got it as my first GoPro, and I got the 7 Black because I just couldn't quite justify the extra price for the 8. And then when I put it in this Ulanzi case, I was like, well, how's that going to work? Because there's a door there where the plug needs to go for the mic dongle. So yeah, tear it off. So yeah, and then you know, and then on the streams learned how to like put the wire on a different way instead of the other way. So another vlogger helped me how much better that holds it in. And then Anonymous, he actually direct messaged me and said, hey, you know, your camera's not waterproof there anymore. So he said, go get some Swimmer's earplugs, the silicone moldable ones, and just pack that around your wire and around the case there. Like, don't shove it down in, but just make a bit of a seal. But when it rains, get it off your helmet anyway. If you get caught in the rain, it's not waterproof, but it'll save your bacon. So yeah. So, my equipment, like I said, got the GoPro Hero 7 Black. Finally, with some help of another vlogger, I got the dongle for the bottom because I could not find one in Canada. I could not find one from GoPro. So he actually sent it to me from the States. In the video here is my new helmet. I'm actually just going to pop the jaw off there in the video. This is, I just got this helmet actually for vlogging. I usually wear a quarter helmet when I'm just riding. And this is the 3-piece So I also want to do a review of this helmet after, I've only got probably 6, 7, 8 hours in it. So I don't really have enough time in it to say what I think about the helmet too much yet. So I will review that helmet too at some point. And
is that helmet made by Scorpion? I know it's from Harley-Davidson, but did Scorpion end up making a helmet?
I happen to have it here. I'm not sure. Boy, everything on it says Harley-Davidson except for it says genuine Harley-Davidson motor clothes on the tag zone in it. So I honestly don't know, Chopper. Maybe it is, but I am so far a fan. I do like it. It's comfortable. We'll see what happens. I did have to do some modifications on the J bracket for my GoPro, and that's actually in the video that we're watching, because of course it didn't lean back far enough. With this new case, the bottom part where the dongle is in here, so that would hit, and then my camera actually was canted forward. So I had to take some material out of there with my Dremel to get my camera to actually lean back where it's supposed to. So a little bit of modifications. The microphone, again, is now I can't remember.
By the way, Dyna's got an interesting idea. Might want to take the vents, check the visor.
The vents, check the visor. Oh, on the vents on the front of the breather box. Is that what he's talking about?
Yep.
Yeah. So you know what? That's funny. That they mentioned that. I think that's a really good idea because I do get a little bit of wind noise in there. So yeah, really good idea, and I'm going to do that. Plug them up somehow. The inside of this breather box isn't solid plastic. It's sort of hard to tell, but there's actually, I don't know why they would do it, but there's padding in there. Because let's face it, in a collision, it's not helping you. So I'm not really sure why it's padded, but check the visor for more info on the helmet. Oh, well,
yeah,
we'll get to that.
I feel like it's a Scorpion Rogue or XO or something like that. But yeah, usually Harley-Davidson rebrands their stuff. But yeah, I do like the graphic that they added to it, though. That's really nice.
Yeah.
I'd like to say hello to Mr. Kansas Guy 74. He's also an up-and-coming vlog or motor vlogger. Mr. Kansas Guy, I tell you what, in a minute, I'll probably, and later on, I will send you guys a link in the chat. And why don't you come on and tell us a little bit about yourself as well. And maybe tell us a little bit about your vlog setup.
I saw your last video, Fletch, with and they sent you some stickers, didn't they not?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, him and his daughter there. Yeah, they're a father-daughter team. That's awesome. Yeah,
it really was adorable.
That's going on with Chopper Fed as well.
my daughter is 17 and has never been on my bike and will not get on my bike for no reason whatsoever. She is just absolutely not enthused about being on two wheels at all. So hopefully someday that changes.
It's hard to get those younger generations on there, man. I mean, it seems harder and harder. Now, this little guy here has no problem getting on two wheels, but I think he's a special one though.
Yeah, and every time I see somebody when we're out riding with their kid on them, it's like, oh, I wish my daughter would ride with me, but
I didn't start riding until I was 34 myself, though. So give it time. Wow. You never know. That's how long it just took me to finally muster up the courage and shell out some money and go riding, man. So, just because she doesn't have the bug yet doesn't mean she won't get it. So
that's right. I just I didn't have a dad growing up, and so my mom got me in that Big Brothers and Sisters program. And my big brother was a biker, so that's how I got started right away. But it has a stamp by HJCs. I paid an extra $100 for a sticker on the helmet. Yeah, anything that says Harley-Davidson's a little more. I can't find a sticker on mine anywhere, so I'm sure I could probably research that and find out. But But yeah, so really all my gear is just from watching all of you guys, seeing what you're using, watching your videos, lots of good recommendations and stuff. So I thought, well, why mess with what works? So that's what I did. And the only thing I couldn't get was it a purple ape, purple monkey,
Purple panda.
Purple panda.
Yeah, but the microphone, I couldn't get that exact one off Amazon Canada, but it's the same company, the same manufacturer. So, and yeah, and then my first ride was a fail because I went and filmed some great video, and I didn't know that little adapter, that 4-to-3 adapter that was in the bag, that there's no instructions whatsoever for.
That's an important piece.
Yeah. So, I just had that in there, and away it went, and then nothing. I had no audio when I got back, and that was actually when I did another one, and I walked around the backyard with my helmet on when I got all this gear, and I used the app on the phone for GoPro, and I hit record, and I walked around the backyard like an idiot, and I watched, I talked and I played it back, and it worked great. And then I went on another ride to do a vlog, and I had nothing. And I was using the button on the camera, like Anonymous said, yeah, don't mess with the app and worry about a phone mount. Just click the camera on. So I was like, this is it right here. You're watching it right now. Well, I'm walking out, I'm talking away, and it's working great, and I'm stoked. And I went and did a vlog, and it had nothing. And it had nothing because then I think it was who was it that mentioned it? I can't remember. It might have been Nomad, that you have to turn off the Wi-Fi or whatever on the camera, the Bluetooth link. So then I did that, and actually Scouse figured it out while we were sitting before we went on a ride. He's watching a YouTube video, and we're in the parking lot at Tim Hortons, and he says, yeah, you've got to do this. So he walked me through the thing while he's watching the YouTube in his helmet. And it worked. So I got out my 2-wheel therapy vlog finally. So
Yeah, I would say that's definitely one of the things as a motovlogger, especially a new motovlogger, is how much footage we film that never makes it to YouTube because of, like you said, you had an audio issue. I had one time, Walterific actually just posted this today. His GoPro Hero 8, brand new, was shaking uncontrollably. Like hyper smooth and everything is on.
Yeah,
it's just it randomly occurs, and you think you don't have to worry about it. But you do. And so it's just a pain in the butt because then you have to go back out and you feel I feel doofusy anyway, saying the exact same thing again and again and again. So yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest challenges I have is just getting the gear right.
Yeah. And, that and what else did I have go wrong? Well, I've learned to have a whole pocket full of batteries. These definitely go through batteries quick. And that's not my video, Fletch.
I know, it just
Sorry,
moved on
man.
to something else.
Yeah, and so I say that the trials and tribulations of learning what works and what doesn't. And yeah, that Duster, by the way, what's up, Bob? That's a 75, and I built a 408 stroker for it, and it's got 580 rear wheel horsepower on street pump gas. Just saw him ask about that, so that's my little sleeper car. But yeah, so having an absolute blast, and like I said, and the help that everyone's given me. So there's a lot of motovloggers, you know what I mean, and there's some really good ones that I just love watching, and I just think to myself, man, how could I even compare? So I'm just gonna do what I do, and hopefully people find it interesting and or somewhat interesting to watch, and I can I'm going to be stoked to hit 100 subscribers, I can tell you that. But
I think that's what's going to happen is that once you hit the 100, there'll be so much more better. Things will start to improve. But talking about subscribers, I've just put Diesel's YouTube link, and could you please just go and check his channel out. And if you haven't yet subscribed to him, go ahead and subscribe. Click all the like buttons, and of course, don't forget to hit his bell or ring his bell to make sure that you hear all about it. I think one of the questions I had in mind when Chopper was talking about the setups on helmets and all that to you
Hmm.
would be now that you've gone out and what is the wind noise like for you on the helmet with the setup?
So like it was said, I think I have to cover the vents.
Right.
I'll probably do that from the inside to keep the, it's not going to be easy to get that mount off for the GoPro, but it would be easy to seal that up in the inside because when I get up to highway speed, so I've got to what everybody passionately loves to call my geezer glide. So it's yeah, that's right. It's your fault. Yeah, it's an '07 Ultra Classic, and so I put a 10-inch windshield on. I had a different windshield that was a clockwork, and I actually just put that Harley one on, and it's lower and it is tinted, but barely, so that the vlog looks better. I was told, that's going to make it better. And so I get a little more wind than I used to. And it when I get to highway speed, then it starts making the mic sound choppy. So, and then when I slow down a little bit, it clears right up. It seems like when I'm under about 40 miles an hour, then it's okay. But after that, it starts getting choppy. So I just kind of lowered the volume quite a bit and then used music overlay and stuff, which I got 2 copyright strikes for in my last video. And I subscribe. It's paid subscription. I got copyright strikes. I disputed it and they upheld it. So I got to send them another email tonight, direct to them, not through YouTube, going, why are you giving me copyright strikes when you take money from me every month? So
this is for Epidemic Sound, right?
That is Epidemic, yeah.
That's so weird, man.
But oh well. Yep. I mean, I'm not monetized or anything, so it's not a big deal. But still, why are you giving me copyright strikes when you pay for their music, right? So
actually, talking about
you want to get that, you want to get that
I think
hammered
probably
out
what you have
before
to
you're
do
monetized.
is you would have to. I think in your settings, in your profile, you have to link your YouTube channel to it. So if you link your channel, then they know exactly what you've downloaded, all the songs that you did that.
Yeah, my channel is linked, and so is my Instagram. So yeah, so
YouTube is weird, right? So
yeah, so but we'll get it sorted out. So not too worried about that. But yeah, so there another lesson, and there again, that was you guys telling me, where do you get your music? Well, I'll go to Epidemic. Prairie Boy told me that, and and where do you get effects and what software to use to do your video editing, right? So which I went with Filmora 9. I don't care for the license is kind of weird in Canada. You can't buy your license up here. You can only buy a year or months or whatever. So you kind of pay for everything. But I've gotten used to it now. I'm kind of getting better with it. So sort of tell my videos, they're not the greatest yet, but starting to get a little better with the editing. And I made my intro. And
I think that's the worst thing, right?
I noticed the Steam Pack, was it the
Steam
filter set that they had?
Yeah.
Yep. I noticed that on the videos that Fletch was playing there for you. So
yeah, I kind of like that one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. But going back to the whole trying to film and everything at highway speeds, Fletch, I've been struggling with this for a long time because everything around me is 55 to 60 mile per hour just country road, which is when I usually like to vlog. But it's not good for my setups, I guess. My Shoei is too loud in the wrong spots. And so I've found that I have to, if I want to vlog, I have to vlog in the city. I have to do 45 miles per hour to 60 at the max in order for the wind not just to be overpowering. And that's even with noise reductions and everything else.
So do people prefer, I've just seen this smattering of both, I guess. And I talk too much. I'm a blabber. But so do people want to see a video where you're talking all the time and explaining what you're seeing, or would they rather you just shut up and play good music? Or is there a balance in that? I'm trying to find my feet there too, right?
Actually, I think a good example would be 508 Dyna himself, right? Since he's there. I think if you watch a couple of his videos, a lot of times he's riding out with his good buddies. and he does talk about the subject at hand or the ride at hand. And then when he's on the road, he switches over to music, and then he switches back to talking. So in a sense, we all have a different style
Right.
of doing it, and I think it all depends. I suspect that if you're always talking, chances are that you're gonna lose that person. So
Okay.
by either doing different views and switching between different views, and doing stuff like that would probably help, right? Because you talk about a person's attention span. So think about yourself,
Right.
and what is it you want to see in the video? Would that thing that they're doing, is it going to keep you pinned to that YouTube, that particular topic or that particular channel,
Yeah.
or after like 2 or 3 minutes, the guy just going on, or,
Yeah.
he's just
So-
talking. Or more so, you can't really hear him, right? I mean, we all struggle with audio.
Yeah.
We're trying to do stuff. In fact,
Yeah.
for me as well, it's the same with Chopper Fat. For me, I have not that many small roads, so it's mostly highways, and I'm also doing between 50 to 60 miles an hour on the highway, and you have heaps of wind. So we're always trying different setups and different mic placements and so forth. And as best as we can, we try to keep the thing down, right? And
Yeah.
I actually have, when I have the opportunity to do another video on a helmet setup, I actually went and bought for my full face helmet something called a Windjammer, and I got that idea from BB and Crow when she put it out. So I went ahead and bought it. I think it's about $20, and it's only good for a full face helmet anyway.
Okay.
And what it does is really has complete seal off the bottom, so I need to test it out.
Yeah. I think I've heard of that. I think actually you brought that up in Scouse's last live.
That's
It
right.
seals you. Yeah. So, it's funny you talk about time and attention span. So when I got the 7-question challenge, I didn't have all my gear yet, so I knew I was going to have to. Well, I tried sitting by the fire. Outside in the backyard, the fire pit going in a beer. I sat in the garage next to my bike. I walked around the yard. I drove my car and had the camera up in the corner of the windshield. I'm not kidding you. I did that video probably 9 times, and I could not get it under 20 minutes. And it's actually Prairie Boy 77 is the one that said, like if you go over 5 minutes, you're going to lose. He said he's got an attention span of a gnat, right? So, and finally, the only way I could do it is I put my wife on the back. I said, when we leave, I said, you start your timer on your phone, and at 10 minutes, you tap me in the shoulder, I'm finished. And then I'm going to edit that down to try to get it to like 6 or 7 minutes. And I did. And that's the only way I could do is I literally had to be poked in the back. Like, you got to shut up now. So I managed to edit that down and get it down to that much. And of course I had to the voice over that one. So I didn't have my mic yet, but yeah, I have a horrible time with keeping videos to a decent length. So
It's the same with us.
That's a very difficult thing, especially when the subject requires a lot of time. Like a 7-question challenge takes a bit of time because you have to explain all your answers, right? I think the video I posted yesterday, 5 reasons I like to ride a motorcycle, ended up being 15 to 16 minutes long, and that's with me cutting out 20 minutes of footage. So, I mean, I trimmed it down as much as you can, and I know because eventually you're going to start looking at your analytics. You know the attention span is maybe, again, like you were saying, 3 to 6 minutes long. Yeah. So I know most people who are watching aren't seeing 10 minutes worth of my videos. But, again, I do it for myself. So that's really all that matters. But,
yeah,
I digress.
And that's the way I look at it. When people say monetized or whatever, that's not even in the realm of my thought process at all. Like I have no inclination towards that. I just want to get a couple hundred subscribers that are actually, that like to comment, find my videos interesting, that, you get to be kind of like video friends with or whatever. And that you're giving something out and enjoying doing it. I love the writing, of course, and then the editing. I think that's fun. I really enjoy that because I'm learning something new. And, I watch a couple YouTube channels that are on Filmora. So, watch and learn, and yeah, it's a great thing. And then watching everybody in the side chat here and you guys watching your videos, and it's like, oh, okay, that's that's a good idea. I didn't think about trying that, or even this. I never imagined in my life I would have a green screen, and I don't do lives, of course. I'm too new and everything, but now I've been on a couple, so it's like, hey, this is kind of fun. So just really getting into the whole package of moto vlogging, right? So it's live chats and it's making videos, and it's just a blast. I'm really having fun, and as you can tell, not a spring chicken. So
Neither are we.
Old dog,
Well, neither am I, actually.
yeah, old dog, new trick, yeah. So, but
So
yeah,
talking about yeah, excellent, man. Love the Canada flag behind, and later on maybe the 70s thing. Okay, so we're talking about new channels, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a link in the side chat. If we could get Mr. Kansas Guy in, and we can talk about it. Hopefully, Mr. Kansas Guy, you're still there. You click on the link, you'll be brought over to the StreamYard, and you'll be brought into the control center where I can bring you in and we can talk about it. And then you can tell us a little bit about your channel. Hopefully you're still there.
Yeah. And while we're waiting, I want to kind of go back to one thing that you were saying, Diesel, about making that perfect video between the difference between having full audio versus just someone talking to you type of thing. What I always try to do is I try to make a video that I know I would want to watch. So for me, I have a style, and I guess you could say my style would probably be similar to like a Blockhead style. I'm not sure if you guys have watched him much at all, but he's pretty much just a straight talker. Sometimes he has some people on comms type of thing. That's what most of his channel is, and that's kind of what I enjoy. Now, when I started doing mine, I found myself finding it hard to watch the entire video because I only had the one camera. So, once you add that second camera so you can actually have it, kind of facing back at you, that does something with your brain to keep someone more engaged. I noticed my engagement time and everything went up the second I added the forward to the handlebars. It kind of adds another aspect to it. I like the music videos. I think Jonesy, you do a ton of it. I'm not sure if he's still in side chat or not, but whenever I just want to relax, I just throw on one of Jones's videos and I can just veg out and relax to him. Yeah. So do what you want to make. Don't worry about what everyone else does, because at the end of the day, it's what you want. And if you're happy with it, that's all that matters.
That's good advice. Appreciate that. I'm a mix. I've been kind of looking for, and I have a ton of money. So I was looking for another camera, and I thought if I could get like a 4 or a 5, I already have a mount on my bike. But I have, 5.
Go get at least a 5 for image stabilization alone.
Oh, okay. And I didn't know whether to have it looking back at me, if that's, or I also like what some other guys do. They have them mounted low on their bike facing forward, and you get the front wheel in there, a bit of the fairing and the road. And so I thought I would play with those ideas, because I don't know who wants to look at this. So no one wants to see my mug, right?
That's why it took me so long to do a face reveal. I didn't want anyone to see this ugly mug that I have. But I will say this though, and I'm glad like Fletch was always the one, take off that Star Wars helmet all the time. Take it off. I was like, no, I don't want to take it off. But there is something about human interaction where people want to see your face. And Fletch, you told me about this. If you can get your face into the thumbnail, and it's not just me. There's other people like at her 2 wheels, Jess from Ohio. She said the same thing. The ones that have a picture of me and me being personable are the videos that do the best, even if the subject matter isn't as good. So that's why you see more pictures of me in my thumbnails lately, is because I'm trying that aspect, and it does seem to be working a little bit.
Yeah, that's something else new too, thumbnails. So just learned how to do that too. So, and I've watched some of the channel building guys, and okay, what's up, Bob? Put on a flex clamp on the handlebar and rotate it from time to time. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah,
Yep.
back and forth, whatever. So
And that
I
flex
just,
clamp is maneuverable. Just pop it here, pop it there. You can have many different angles in one video with that thing.
yeah. So that's where what do they call that? B-roll? Is that the meaning of that? So there, I'm green, so I don't know. Is that what B-roll is? Would be your second camera, or you talking and then going back to a video? Is that what that means?
I would call B-roll anytime that you're like, for me, B-roll is me. It's filming me on the bike. So whether it's someone else shooting or me setting up a stationary camera. So
Right.
I have like a couple like high speed passes that I do. I consider that stuff B-roll, stuff that I'm not actually physically talking during what I'm doing.
Okay.
And so I throw it over. The voiceover still goes through because I still have my audio going, but it's just the footage that I add in that was not part of the actual filming of the audio, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Fletch, what would you say?
Yeah, that would be it as well. I think to me, B-rolls it comes from the movies, right? Basically, they have multiple cameras recording all the time. They will pick the primary cameras that will go into the movie, but you have the other shots that are available as well, just in case that they need to go back into it. Doesn't mean that it's lower quality or anything, but it's something they could rely on if this particular angle didn't work. So
Gotcha.
sometimes it's really great. Like I think there's a Harley Roadshow that has like multiple cameras all over his bike, right? And he could switch across from it. He has two primary ones, and once in a while he'll switch to if it's beneficial for the story that he's telling. Right? If you watch the
Wow.
Fox one that he had before, so he's like 3 or 4, and it was just at the right point that he has the one that's facing his floorboard, and that's the one that caught the fox. So he actually went to that. That one's his primary camera.
Okay.
It's, right. It's mostly from the front and from the side. That's his primary camera. So you consider that that is a B-roll. But and 508 is saying that B-roll is usually a slow motion action shot as well, smooth transitions.
Okay.
That's
A
another
good
definition.
person who I think uses a lot of B-roll would be Million Dollar Bogan down in Australia, because most of what he does, he sets up his shots for cinematic purposes. Is that a word? Yeah, cinematic purposes. Because there's a video of him like leaving his house. Well, he's got to actually turn back around and go pick up that camera.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of effort that he does into his, but he does those same sort of things, and he just has an ultimate vision before he actually sets out to does them. So,
Okay. Yeah, and I'm kind of a smart ass, so I want to reflect a little bit of that sarcasm and sense of humor that I think I have into
you'll get along good with What's Up, Bob.
Yeah. So like at the end of my 7-question challenge, I put end credits on that were just ridiculous, right? So and I got a few comments. I know some people watched it to the end. Yeah.
Yeah, that's since you brought that up, I have to say something. I think guys, a lot of us are trying to help each other out, and as we grow, we also subscribe to a lot of people. And what happens is that every time someone has something new, we quickly go in, watch for 2 minutes, and come out. That's not helping us a lot.
No.
The views is not helping us. We need the watch time, and don't forget the YouTube algorithm is such that if they see people popping out after 1 or 2 minutes, right? They'll think that that's a lousy video, and they will not push your video
Okay.
at all, right? So I think it's important that guys watch as much as you can. You can do what the Chestnut Mountain Tin Man suggests, and I think it's working out. What you could do is if you can only watch it through the end, drag the play bar all the way to the end, let it run for a second or 2, and then go off, and then we hit the I think the minimum for them to rate, or the algorithm to rate, will be about 7 minutes, I think, right?
Is
Between
that
5
right?
to 7 minutes.
Okay.
So I think I suggest guys, if you really want to help us out, go ahead and drag that bar, or at least try and watch 5 minutes or above, and that will help a lot, because otherwise then they're not pushing our videos out, and YouTube's not pushing our videos out.
So even when guys live stream that are monetized, even if I'm preoccupied, or I have to do something, I leave it run. right? And then I make sure when I come back after doing so, I make a comment and stuff because I think it picks that up too if you're an active viewer or whatever. So yeah, you know, but I mean, most of them I enjoy watching anyway. So I seldomly have to do that. And I honestly, you know, I give everybody a shot and watch the stuff, and not just one video. It's the same as watching a series on TV. You know, some of the best ones I've ever watched, if I would have judged it by the first, you know, 3 or 4 episodes, I would never have watched some of the really good ones that I've gotten into, you know, like I don't think Breaking Bad started very good, and I don't think that Dexter started off very good. So, and even Vikings, I think 4 times I fell asleep in the first episode. End up being some of my favorite stuff, you know. So I don't just watch one and go, I don't like this channel. So I try to watch a few, and then I like them. Then I go all the way back to the beginning, and I see where they came from. And I think that's really cool. I really enjoy doing that. But I'm an old guy, so we have a little more patience than some of the young bucks, right? So I can sit and put my feet up in my chair, and I can watch, you know, 5 full videos and then go do whatever it is I was going to do. So I really do like to watch, because I appreciate when people watch mine too. So, you know, and then I don't just say nice video. I'm a commenter, just like I'm a talker. I like to try to leave a decent comment, you know, give them some real something to answer to, or see that they appreciate the effort that they put in to make the video. I think as a viewer, I should put in some effort to comment on the video too. So
Fair point. I like that.
Yeah, that's really a good point as well. I'm trying to get some people in. I'm still waiting for Mr. Kansas Guy 74, but I think since I'm not sure what's going on there, but if there's any one of you who would like to join us in this chat, please click on the link. I just put it in the side chat. Come on in. Let's have a conversation. Again, today we're talking about the Moto Vlog setups, helmets on a bike, and whatever comes along. Anyway, we'll be riffing and we'll be talking about Moto Vlogging anyway, not specifically about the bikes. Probably maybe the next one that we do, we might be talking about bike specifics or bike or anything to do about the bike that might help. Right, so come on over. There's a link in the side chat, and go ahead and come and join us, and let's riff on these topics.
Jarvis Biker, all my videos are too long and so hard to cut down. I can relate.
Yeah.
Totally relate. Yeah. So, you know, like
we think of Steven Spielberg's, you know.
Yeah.
Well, the worst thing is, so I have the 8 that faces me, and I time the cameras to start at the same time, so I see the counter, and man, when I see that thing's already at 14 minutes, and I'm only halfway through what I wanted to talk about, I'm like, where can I start cutting? I mean, it's because I don't want to do a 2-part episode, because I feel like you lose a lot. Like, I had a week-long video about GoPros, just because I had that much footage and data. But I felt like that needed it to have its own series, which probably didn't. But JP Cycles challenged me to make a video every day, so I put out a video every single day for him.
I've got
all right.
Ride Your Ride in the green room.
508 Dyna's headed out, looks like, guys.
Hey, Ride Your Ride. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up,
hey guys.
man?
How are you guys doing?
Good, man.
Good, man. How you
Thanks
doing?
for joining.
Good. Is my volume too loud?
Nope. You're
Okay.
quite
good
clear.
on my end.
All right, just
I'm
making
going to
sure.
say bye-bye to 508 Dyna. Listen,
Going to
have a
bed.
good rest.
Thanks for the advice, man.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, man.
Bye, guys.
Hey, man.
All right.
So
Well,
tell us a little bit about yourself. Jinx.
I'm here in San Francisco Bay Area, California, and I've been motor vlogging or making YouTube videos since like 2012, like on and off. And only last year I decided to make a video or a channel on giving riding tips, because I find that a lot of riders just go out there and ride, but yet they don't continue to better their skills. They just ride and maybe learn to get better from friends. And since a lot of people like to watch YouTube, I figured, why don't I share my experience I'm not perfect, but I could share my experience on sharing my riding tips with everyone that has time to watch my videos. So I made this channel, Ride Your Ride, and it's mainly focused on city riding and lane splitting. So that's about it. I started last year with the channel. I had like 4 or 5 videos, and then a lot of personal stuff happened. I moved, got a new job, got a girlfriend. So the channel kind of took a back seat in priorities in life. But now, like a couple months ago, I started, since we're all sheltered at home, I got nothing else to do. I finally have time to go through a lot of backlog of videos. So now I'm hoping to have at least a couple new videos out in the next week or two. But yeah, that's about it for me. So
You've been around for quite a while, right?
Yeah.
I remember you had more videos than this.
yeah, I'm curating them, like cleaning up the channel, and so it's more focused. So
We both have 45 subscribers. Fifth
hey, 45.
Nice.
Guys, I put his link in the side chat. Please go and subscribe to him. Check out his channel. I was one of your, when I first started out, I subscribed to you to almost a year, I think.
Yeah.
And I was wondering about your videos, because I remember there were quite a lot and you were putting out a few, and then it just petered out, and I was thinking, what's going on?
Yeah,
And
life
you mentioned
happens.
it anyway. You're going through
Yeah.
stuff and stuff. And I like how you were talking about certain topics, like this lane splitting, for instance.
Yeah, that's a no up here.
Yeah, it's one thing I enjoy doing a lot. Some people find it stressful. I find it relaxing. To me, it's a video game with no reset button, so you're playing for keeps. But it's pretty awesome, especially at night when traffic's kind of moving. It feels like I'm like in Star Wars and TIE fighter pilot.
Even if we could do it here, well, with my geezer glide, it wouldn't be recommended. It would be like trying to fit a smart car between there, but I don't trust other drivers enough to do that.
My brothers ride Harleys. One has a Road King, one has a Road Light, and we split lanes like butter, like a hot knife through butter. So
yeah,
I mean, you
But
said it perfectly.
correct me if I'm wrong, though. I think there are state laws about lane splitting, right?
yes.
Yeah, very few states allow it.
Yeah, and I break them all because you're only supposed to go 5 or 10 miles above the speed of traffic.
Right.
I've gone. I'm not a saint. I've gone like 100 between cars when traffic's going like 70. I don't recommend it, but it just happens so fast and so natural, and it's kind of scary that it happens natural because you get very comfortable, so your guard kind of goes down. So that's not the best thing to do. You always want to be on your toes, but it just like riding. When you first start riding, you start off going slow, and then build up confidence, go faster. So same thing with lane splitting. You just build up confidence, and it becomes second nature.
I remember the first time being in the U.S. Driving and bikes were lane splitting me, and I was like, "You jackass! What's wrong with you?" Because I'd never actually seen it before. I didn't know it was allowed. So it's like, man, if I get a hold of you at traffic lights,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, but now I see, yeah, I'm just stressed right out watching this. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it would be.
Imagine in Asia. Actually, in Asia, it's an unspoken rule. There is no rule against lane splitting. But for whatever reason, everybody does it. Here in Singapore, in Malaysia, it's insane. In Vietnam, I don't know if you have a chance to watch any of the videos in Vietnam and people riding the motorcycles. It is insane because these people are ripping down between the traffic at 100 kilometers an hour, sometimes even more. And the Malaysians do it as well. But they got bigger highways in Malaysia. But when they come to Singapore, they do exactly the same thing. And we have this kind of traffic, and the guys are flying between at 100 kilometers, at 110 kilometers an hour. And
Wonder
even as
what
a bike
the-
rider, I'm thinking, son of a bitch. You know?
Wonder what the crash. Man,
Oh, man.
Yeah.
that's.
I mean, could you imagine though, like downtown LA, you know, when it's like bumper to bumper traffic and you could actually get around? That would be such a big perk of having a bike.
Yeah.
I live in Kansas City. I don't have to worry about it.
And here we're
Fletch, do
talking
you
about
lane
this-
split? Fletch, are you a lane splitter?
I try not to, because I tell you, one of the biggest things that, and I thought that it was only because it's in Singapore, but then when I watch like Viper 6 videos and recently in Home Bees, right? People don't signal and just switch lanes. So imagine if you're splitting between, and if you haven't had enough experience on the road, and suddenly what happens is this guy just pulls out, and if you're doing 50 to 100, you're finished.
Yeah.
Right? And I've seen it happen as well
Agree.
before.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
And I
that's
think
the thing too. And you know, there was a point made in the side chat that it's not even the drivers. If there's something on the road between you, you can't dodge it if you're stuck between two cars. And so I don't know what the odds of that happening are, but yeah, right there. So I don't know. I can just think of a million reasons I wouldn't do it, but I don't have issue with anybody that does. But
Awesome transition there. That was I'm not sure if you guys just picked that up.
That
He
was
went from
cool,
like a
wasn't it?
Google
Yeah.
Google
like-
Maps all the way down to his bike. That was awesome.
That was
well
really
done, man.
Somebody's got some editing skills.
It takes time. You just have to have the patience to do it. But everything's on YouTube. If you want to figure out how to do a transition, just Google it and find it on YouTube and practice. Just keep doing it. And after a while, it becomes faster. But it does take time. So all those people that does all these transitions, it's a skill and talent that they built over time.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, but I wouldn't even thought of that one though. That's what's crazy. It's like now that I've seen it,
Yeah.
I want to figure it out. Not to copy it, but I want to figure it
Yeah,
out.
You can't copy stuff, but
I
yeah.
copied it from someone.
Yeah. And I see Anonymous Biker USA is in here, and I just want to say thanks to him publicly. Man, he's patient with me. I bug him all the time. You know, I'm a big fan of his, and so I do work him over. And he's just a champ. He'll help you out any way you want. You know, like so. Million thanks. He's been an influence and a lot of help. So.
Yeah, I agree. Anonymous and Scouse and a few others out there have been helping us a lot. And I thought that this would be a good chance for do a little payback or pay it forward, not payback, right? Payback's the wrong thing to say. Pay it forward.
Payback.
Right. So guys, I think if you can put your links out in the side chat, Jarvis Biker and the rest, why don't you put out your links in the side chat? We'll go ahead and sub you. If you haven't subbed to Ride Your Ride, please go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I feel bad. I didn't even know who Ride Your Ride was until now. So he got me. I am subbed in. I am ready to go with it, man.
I have a notepad just writing down everyone's names.
but man, the lane filtering though, it's got the heart going.
I know.
No,
I'm just thinking.
and so moto vlogging, here's something cool that's happened doing this. So, you know, you start following people, and here's something like, what are the odds of this actually happening? So follow Anonymous. I think was on a live with Scouse. And Scouse, I saw the Canadian flag. So, oh, another Canadian vlogger. So I followed him. And time goes on, and could you believe that a guy from down south, like Anonymous, you meet a guy like Scouse, and it turns out he lives 3 blocks from my house.
Oh, wow.
So we hang out all the time now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like just crazy. What are the odds of that? But you know, so made a lifelong friend. You know, so it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the Fletch's latest poker chip guy. The Mr. Kansas guy with the numbers. I can't. It's escaping me now. He's not on my screen anymore. But
Cool.
he lives 2 hours away from me. I mean, that's
Really?
a realistic meetup at some point in time. So,
Yeah.
course, now that he's like probably like, oh, look at this goober. Maybe when I unsubscribe to him at this point, I'm like, block him. I'm not, but no, that's what's so great. And it's just like we said last week in the show, how often can you bring together so many different international places? We got Canada, we got a couple from America here, we got Singapore, and then we have people in side chat from the UK who are still, well, yeah, Dad and Mad, they're still up. It's like 3 a.m. over there. It's so awesome for just the community that is the motor vlogging community now.
Yeah.
It's definitely made for our smaller guys for sure right now, because you know the bigger people in the world, they don't know who we are. But for all of us, oh, it's great. I mean, so many friends I've made in the last year, more so than I made in my whole life probably. So
yeah, I believe that. Yeah. So yeah, you know, so ride you'll ride. There's a very good chance that I could run into you one day. We do go down there quite a bit. We travel lots, and you know, even if we're going camping, we triple tow. So I pull my fifth wheel, and then I pull my enclosed trailer behind that yet. So get down there, and then we tour everywhere on the bike. So yeah, we love San Francisco. We've had a lot of fun in San Francisco. So quite the culture there, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, hopefully next time you're in the area, we could meet up and go for a spin around. Like, there's so many great roads out here too. So.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. You know, I'm far more familiar with the Los Angeles area. So we had relatives there, so I've been going there since I was a little guy. But so I imagine you could take us on some really cool rides in the Bay Area for sure.
Oh yeah.
So that would be awesome. And sorry, my phone was ringing there. I'm on call, so I just have to make sure it's not an ERP number. So
I got to ask Roger a question here, man. What are you using for your webcam right now? Are you using like the Canon EOS, or because it's God, Fletch? I got to get one, man. Look at the depth of field for a webcam.
I was just about to ask him that as well, but here's the thing: I'm a Mac guy, and it doesn't work for Mac.
Yeah. Only PC.
So I'm waiting for that.
PC.
Yeah, but I have an old Canon. It's a T6i, nothing brand new. So it's like 5 years old, 6 years old, and it's the glass, the lens that makes the difference. You don't have to spend $500, $1,000 on a brand new Canon mirrorless or DSLR. You could get something used. So.
Yeah. I have a T3i that I use to shoot pictures with, but the webcam stuff that they just came out with, of course, is not compatible with that old of a camera. So, Jones and to go run up more credit card debt.
Have you tried it though? Because I've heard on Reddit that people with old Canon cameras, it still works even though it's not listed. It doesn't hurt.
Worth giving it a shot before I drop $550 anyway. Yeah. So because the T3i still takes really good pictures with an aftermarket lens on there, I would. Yeah, I just posted about a video, or maybe I haven't posted it yet, but you know, it beats an iPhone any day. You know, it's no matter what, that DSLR or actual camera is always going to be out of cell phone, but can't really put. Although Webb did try to put a full size camera on his helmet, and it kind of worked.
That's Webb, right?
Imagine that.
Yeah, Webb. Go check out that video. He puts a full size camera on his helmet.
Hey, Webb.
Did he Teletubby it, or what did he do?
It's right here in the front.
Oh, really?
That's a lot of weight.
You have to have something to hold your chin up.
Hey, Webb, mate, why don't you just come in and join us for the chat? I put in the link. I'll put in the link again so that you can come in and join us.
Yeah, right.
Talk about the Black Magic. I think that's the camera he was using. That's a full-on camera that they use for using for films and stuff.
Oh wow!
So that's an awesome camera, and then he stuck it in the front. I'd really like to know how he did that. So that'll be really interesting.
Yeah, Nicolista there is commenting the camera that I've been looking at, which is that M50. Yep.
Yeah, it does.
What Prairie has, right?
That's what Prairie Boy. Yep. Prairie Boy makes me want to spend lots of money.
Yeah, he just got his new camera. Yeah. So I think
hey, wait, guys! I have an idea. Give me $500. I'll shave my beard too. So.
Yeah. Give me 500, I'll pull a tooth. Eh?
Ooh, that's bold.
That's more painful.
Yeah. Yeah, I think actually Prairie Boy used that new camera on the part of my video that we did together, that stupid WhatsApp thing. And yeah, I think he shot that with his new camera. So it was just, when he sent me the file, it was just beautiful footage. I couldn't believe the resolution on that.
So I'll say this, because I know that was your first vlog ever. I was not expecting that, and it hooked me. So,
oh, really?
Awesome job on that. Yeah,
That's
I'm just thinking. I'm thinking, okay, he's got his 40. No, I don't have my drone yet. That's another Prairie Boy item I need to buy.
Yeah,
but
Mr. 2 drone. Yeah.
MAvic Mini maybe in the future someday, but no drone here. Yeah. No, this got me off track. This is why I'm bad at live.
I'm glad you thought it was funny. That's what I mean. I'm a jackass.
No, it wasn't.
I like to interject some humor and be stupid, and yeah. So my videos definitely won't be all serious.
Here's a little poison for you, Chopper Fett.
Yeah,
dude. And they make the web like the vlogger thing is like $550 right now. And I'm like 0% financing for 24 months. But there's a kid on the way.
Uh-oh. So that's a hard no. Yeah.
It's only $400.
400 from Canon website.
So that's, just so you know, that's about 900 Canadian right now.
It's like $2,500 in Singapore, probably.
This is like the shopping network.
Yeah.
Hi, Mrs. Ride Your Ride.
Hey, if anybody has hey, my pen's invisible. That's weird. Yeah. If anybody has a GoPro 5 for sale, hit me up on Instagram. Direct message me or something.
I see that was on sale on eBay for about $60-$70.
Yeah, check eBay, Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, here's the deal with that. So you go on to, because I'm in Canada, so you go on eBay and it's $50 for the camera and $130 shipping. Like they think, and I have a diesel performance company, so I know what it costs to ship from the US because I do it like 100 times a month, and it's not that expensive. And so they just, I don't know why, but it's like they don't get taxed or something on the shipping and handling or whatever, but they do like they do on the product. So I have that's a real problem up here in Canada. I wish, so many things are way better that way in the US, and so I wish we could, but I mean, I can't even find it on. We have Kijiji and stuff and everything. I can't find one on there. So, and when you do find one, they don't even answer to you when you ask them in their ad, and they don't even answer you back. So you don't even know if it's real or if it's fake. So there's a lot of scams, but yeah. So I would like the GoPro 208 can be flashed to Hero 5 black firmware.
Does that include the image stabilization, dude?
What's a GoPro 2008? I don't know my cameras, so.
That's pretty old, 2008.
That's a 3, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I think it would, in terms of stabilization, I think it's all software anyway. There is nothing hardware in any of the GoPros. So I think flashing it would probably help.
Okay. Yeah, we get anonymous egging you on. Yeah. So like I told my wife, you know what? I think I'm the only guy now that doesn't have a drone, because Anonymous got a drone and PB's got 2 drones, and Saddle Tramp, he's got his drone now, and he even did the video fidgeting while he's telling his wife he bought a drone, and I just got a flat out no. I have too many cars and toys, and so if I want a drone, something's got to go.
What's going to happen is I'm going to get this camera, and my first moto vlog will be me packing up my stuff as I got kicked out of the
house. But I think the drone thing is a good idea. I got my drone. The first one I had was a Spark, right, which is what the Chestnut Mountain Tin Man is using. That was many years ago, and the primary reason is because every time when we go up to all these various places, the nice lakes and
Yeah.
mountains and stuff. You take a picture or you take a video for your phone, it just doesn't say very much, right? But when you do take a drone shot and it's flying off from the coming into the mountain where you guys are, I can see you gathering there with the bikes and everything else, and you can say, hey, this is what it really looks like, right? I think JP had one recently on the dam. I think that was awesome. And he shot off his drone. I think it was an Evo Autel, and it was just great, to be able to tell people, no, this is what it looks like, this is how it is. And
Can you wave?
I think it's kind of worth the money if you're traveling a lot. Maybe not in these times.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right now you kind of can't, but so Fletch Dyna buys everything. Yeah.
Over time, man. Over time.
So ride. Do you have a drone too?
No, I do not, but my brothers do, so I don't have to worry about that.
So yeah. Drone makes for great B-roll, Anonymous said. So he just got his drone. I'm looking forward to seeing a video with his new drone, and I will have one eventually, but I need to. I got to focus on the basics here first a bit, but I guess I could still have a drone though. I need everybody to write my wife an email and say you should let him get a drone. He really needs one.
Mrs. Diesel. He needs a drone.
That's right.
Let's all start writing letters to everyone else's wives saying what we need, and then maybe that'll convince them, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Squeaky wheel. If they get 100 letters a week, they'll just cave and go, tell them to stop.
Just do it. I don't care.
I'm not married, so I don't have that problem.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I still have that 600 horsepower duster in the backyard, so and a bike. So
what's going on, Mohawk?
Mohawk Mike. He commented.
Mohawk
videos, yeah. So, yeah. So, Jarvis Biker got a drone too. Of course.
Just say it loud enough so she can hear it.
My wife likes Anonymous's videos too, so she might listen to you, man. So yeah, send me a DM and say this is for Mrs. C, and I'll just show it to her.
Yeah,
just
Mrs.
like
Fett.
Just like that. Yeah.
The M50 will make Chopper such a great husband.
Yeah. For hours and hours and hours.
Hey guys, we still got a couple of slots left. Why don't you come in and let's have a chat? You can ask as many questions as you like to Diesels and Ride Your Ride, all about it. Thanks for coming,
Mr. GRD.
See you later. Yeah, Dad and Dad wants a drone too, so
John,
we need your support. Yeah. Somebody take out a commercial on TV. And just put everybody's name who needs a drone.
We could have Sally Struthers with the sad animal music going.
That's right. Yeah. Well, just sit here.
Actually, I was hoping
I will remember
that.
you.
Sorry to interrupt. I was actually hoping that Mr. Kansas Guy would join in, because then I also have Dad and Matt here as well. As you know, Mr. Kansas Guy 74 is daddy and daughter team, just like Dad and Matt. So it'd be great for them to exchange stuff and talk about it. And I think I know that he's done a couple of interviews as well. I think Motorsage was on with his daughter as well, so I thought that was really cute. Mm-hmm. And of course, Mad is the best.
Yeah,
she's so funny.
Fletch, when are you gonna come to Canada?
Good question. When everything lifts, I think. I know my sister's been on me to get there. She's in Calgary.
Oh, so you're just a couple hours away if you go see your sister.
Exactly. So then I just rent a bike and
rent
go
a bike.
Riding.
Yeah, a whole bunch will get together, and PB's only a few hours away too. So yeah, that would be awesome.
Road Rash is pretty close by as well, right? Isn't he?
Road Rash is over in BC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh no, no, is he? Yeah, I think he is. I'm pretty sure it's BC.
That's awesome.
And yeah, you got 18 months before Scouse gets out of the army and probably ends up moving away. So you got to get here before that so we can get on the ride with him too.
Did he say when he's getting out of the army?
18 months.
In 18 months. Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty soon now.
Yeah.
A little different.
So, and they're talking about other places they want to live. So,
Okay.
yeah, right here, I mean, I'm fortunate to be doing what I'm doing, but there's only 70,000 people in this city. It's not a real big place. So, I think they want to live somewhere a little bigger and more opportunity for work for him when he gets out of the army. So,
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Right, you're right. What is your helmet setup like?
I have a GoPro session on the chin, so there's really no cords, no audio. So I'm not vlogging on it. I'm just recording and capturing video. So
Okay.
pretty
And
simple.
yours is a full face helmet, right?
Yes. Full
is that
face.
the square one?
Square.
Oh,
Yeah.
Those also have image stabilization too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that would
just,
be another cheap option.
Yeah. The audio though, it picks up a lot of wind because it's just right in front of my helmet. So
Yeah. But if he's doing audio from another camera, he could just mute that audio and kind of clip it in if he wanted to. I think yeah, the sessions are good. I think the beef against the session is they don't have their own battery, so once
Yeah.
they're dead, they're
Oh.
dead. Yeah.
yeah, they only last no more than half an hour. They die fast.
Was it
So
that
you have
bad?
to use the battery. You just have to,
Really?
can you run it? Can you run power off your bike to it, or a battery pack? Can you use like a battery pack? And
Probably
plug it?
could. Never tried. Because I'm trying to keep everything minimal. That's why.
Yeah, I wonder if you could use one of those little battery packs. The rechargeable battery
Mhm.
pack on the go, and put that in your coat pocket or something. Just run the one little wire up to the camera. It would keep you going.
I have a pigtail on my bike, so I could maybe run something because I have a heated liner, so I could
Okay.
maybe find a plug that goes to a micro USB and maybe just play around with that, see if it works.
Yeah, this
That
is
would
my
be a
first
nice
one.
option.
This video is with the GoPro Hero 4 session.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really not bad, and the stabilization and everything else. And of course, this was many years ago. So I didn't know about. It was 2015, so I didn't know about aspect ratio and stuff. I just hit it and started recording. But the funny thing is, it did pick up at low speeds, of course, your voice, strangely enough, and I had it mounted on my helmet. And this is a KTM 200 Duke, I think.
What's the yellow squiggly lines on the side of the road?
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of rules and regulations. The yellow squiggly lines is that you could stop, you could pick up, but you can't park.
Oh, okay.
Right. Then the white squiggly lines here is to tell you that you're approaching a pedestrian crossing
Oh, wow.
and stuff like that. So you have a lot of these kind of things.
How long have you lived there?
In Singapore,
Yeah.
I mean, all my life, but I spent a good deal of time in Europe in the late 80s to do my. I was in hotels before,
Okay.
and then when I came back, I was working for all the big hotel chains, and then I think it was somewhere in the mid 90s that I was with the Hyatt chain. So I actually had to go to the United States, right? They had their headquarters in Chicago, so I was there quite a fair bit.
Okay.
And of course, my sister met this Canadian guy in college, right?
Yeah.
They got married, so now I go to Canada when I can. In fact, they got married in Vancouver.
Oh wow.
But, then they're now living in Calgary. Initially, they were from Vancouver.
See, us Canadian guys, trapping up the girls. Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, I've lived most of my life in Singapore, but I've been very lucky in my life in the sense that whichever job I was in, I got to travel. Right, when we were in the army, we got to travel a little bit because in Singapore, we have to do national service, right, for 2.5 years, and then after that, be in the reservists. And from time to time, we do get a chance to go overseas.
Nice.
And then
Singapore and Vietnam are on my bucket list, so I want to see them. So
Vietnam is an interesting place to go. Let me tell you, it's changed a lot. In fact, it's no more like what you see in the movies.
no,
It's really actually big cityscapes. I think a lot of times when you watch these Hollywood movies, and they show Vietnam, it's always the seedy bits, but that's not really what it's like, And the only thing you have to be careful is they march the beat of their own drum when it comes to riding and driving, and it's insane. They don't obey traffic laws. They don't obey traffic lights. And I was there. I could only ride for 5 minutes, and I had to park the bike, and I took a cab. I just couldn't take it. It was insane. They were zipping past you on the left and the right.
that's good to know. Don't rent a Harley in Vietnam.
Otherwise, you just end up in the ditch or something. Or worse still, you're just stuck in the middle of the road. You can't move because you're already gonna get killed or something.
Paralyzed with fear. Yeah. I don't know. My buddy's been 3 times now. He just can't get enough. He loves it there. So
yeah, it's a beautiful country. And
yeah,
it's. I think a lot of the adventure guys, because the roads there are pretty bad as well. I've ridden to just the outskirts of Vietnam,
right.
and the roads are horrendous. The Harley just cannot take it. It was crazy, all the gravel and stuff. I was thinking I'm gonna drop the bike for sure. So that's why it's a lot of times you get all the adventure bikes, the BMW guys going up there.
Well, that makes
because
sense.
the roads are pretty bad. So we're so used to good roads, and suddenly you hit stuff like that. We're so lucky in that sense,
Yeah. That
Even
video
Thailand is
you
not
showed, Singapore sure looks clean. Looks very nice.
Yeah, it's clean because the people here are pretty hard on people who litter and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's easy to police a small country anyway. We're a little island. I think we can fit in any of your lakes. Right? our entire country can fit in your lake. That's
Yeah.
how big it is. So it's easy to control. The moment you get something much bigger, you can't be that hard or you can't be that harsh.
Right.
People will be people, and that's how it goes, right?
Right.
Is there
Anyway, so
is there anyone else
who
in
would like
side
to come and
chat
join
who
us?
wants to? As I say, is anyone else in side chat who wants to share their motovlog setup with us? I know Anonymous kind of posted what he's using and stuff. Anyone else want to join in? I think Fletcher will put the link out again.
Yeah. So
That may or may not be working.
with the exception of the Panda mic, I mean, that's the exact same setup I have as what Anonymous has. So,
Hey, we got Webb.
Hey.
What's you doing, mate?
Good. If I leave abruptly, it's because I got another work call.
It's okay, man. I know what you mean. We're all working. It's the working day for me as well. I got a couple of calls and messages just now. I looked at them and I could ignore them for the moment. I just like to see how long I can ignore them.
I'm trying to
Hey,
work
Webb,
out the
tell us a
lighting.
little bit about your setup with the Black Magic, man.
Yeah. Well, pretty much. Where's my camera? There you go. So there's a Blackmagic Cinema camera.
wow.
But one sec. Can you still hear me? Does that still work?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Because I don't have a stand for the microphone. There we go. But so that's just in a cage, right? So you can take that out. You can take that out, and then you can't see anything. Sorry, the lighting's horrible. Yeah, so you just run a lightweight lens. So the cinema camera with the lens I was using on it only weighs about 300 grams.
Only
So,
how do you mount it in your helmet?
grams.
well, it uses standard UNC threads, just like a Sony camera does. So you just use some of these. I got them somewhere. Anyway, you can get these little like GoPro to. Wait, maybe if I move cameras. Anyway, whatever. Your UNC to GoPro adapters that you can use. Oh, wait a second. If I put you guys over here, there you go. So you got UNC to GoPro adapters. So you just use one of those on the helmet, and 300 grams is, I don't know how many pounds that is. I think that it's just slightly more than what a GoPro is. So it kind of just works as a GoPro. Oh, that's better. But yeah. So the only problem is that because it's a cinema camera, it's made to be used in, well, cinema. So it doesn't have any stabilization. It doesn't have any form of the focal length. It's a Super 16 sensor, so it's made for stuff to really start over here. So it's impossible to really, unless you're using a very expensive lens, which means they're bigger, which means they don't go on the helmet, you can't really get the close-up kind of views. And because it doesn't have any stabilization and because it's got really long focal length, everything that's out in the distance, it's moving a lot because of physics and stuff. So it's a work in progress. But that's how they filmed a lot of movies in the 60s. So,
Did you use that camera for your car for sale video?
Yes. You'll notice that some of the videos look normal and some of them look really weird. The reason why they look really weird is because I use lenses from the 60s on it because I can.
Wow.
For no real reason other than I kind of like the way it looks. So, but
it gives it such a unique look, though. I mean,
That's how it's mounted.
yeah, that's not using a vintage lens though. That's using I think it's on my other camera. That's using this one actually. It's a Lumix lens, modern one. So, but I'm just messing around at the moment. I don't really know what I'm doing, so I just kind of experiment with stuff.
I mean, that's the fun part about this is, I think we were saying earlier, we make what we want to make for our own self, but who would have thought using that kind of camera in what we're trying to do would be a successful thing? But
well, it wasn't even me. I've seen photos of Steve McQueen and people like that back in the 60s with film cameras on their heads. So, we've got it easy.
That's true. They were probably filming The Great Escape and things along those lines, but still.
Sore neck.
I think what I like about this particular camera is that because it's a full-on proper film camera. Look at the depth of field and of course the the motion blur. Very realistic.
So you can totally see what Webb was just talking about, how it looks vintage. Just the way the camera works. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Did you do any post editing? Color
Yeah.
correction?
So it only records in RAW. So you can't really use RAW footage because it looks really flat. Like you don't have any colors whatsoever. So that's one of the things of using these cameras is that you can't use them straight out of the memory card. You have to use color grading and stuff like that. Otherwise, it just looks really, doesn't work. So,
That's good.
but also the other problem with it is that the file sizes that it has. So recording in RAW, I've got a 64 gigabyte memory card that gets you about 10 minutes of footage.
Jeez.
And because of the bit rates it's pushing, you can't just buy any SD card either. You have to buy special high-speed ones, which are worth several. Doesn't work. $100
Hi
each.
guys,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Just like to welcome Mr. Kansas Guy 74.
Is that the file sizes that it has. So recording in RAW, I've got a 64 gigabyte memory card that gets you about 10 minutes of footage. Uh-oh.
I think you've got your
Pushing, you can't just buy any SD card either. You have to buy special high-speed ones, which are worth several.
was my $100
Hi
each.
guys,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Just like to welcome Mr. Kansas
Also,
Guy
the other
74.
one is that the file size that it has. So we're putting in draw.
Oh,
I've got a
I think Mr. Kansas Guy.
gigabyte memory card.
He's got his
So
YouTube open.
Yeah, I think you've got your
Uh-oh.
YouTube on.
I do.
It's coming back, so you probably could need to mute it. I was like thinking deja vu.
Ooh, I got paid. Just got a notification I
Well, no,
got
so-
paid. Maybe I should go buy a drone.
Yeah.
If you got paid, buy me that camera too while you're at it.
Sure.
Sparks are good. Oh, you probably can't see that, but I snapped the thing off.
You got a drone. Of course you have a drone. Everybody's got a drone. Him drone.
Yeah, I know here drones gotta have certain licenses if they're over a certain weight. So I think that's why only the MAvic Mini is the only one that I would probably consider here, because I think it's like 1 gram or 2 grams under the
Oh.
weight limit for needing a license. So
Gotcha.
You could do what most people do and just not get a license.
well, who was it? I saw was it Peter McKinnon? And again, I didn't watch his video. I just went off thumbnail. He got like a $5,000 fine for flying his drone.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
It's big.
yeah, I could fly without a license, but and honestly, I think if you fly it and you're not going super high up anyway, no one's going to even really notice. But no, it's when you start getting into the hundreds of feet in the air. I think that's when
Yeah, at an
people start
airport.
at an airport, like, oh yeah, let's get drone footage of this plane landing. That sounds like a great idea.
Close up on the pilot.
Dude,
Clint,
that would be
Mr. Kansas
awesome.
guy.
That would be awesome.
Yes,
Hey, Mr. Kansas
you're
guy,
there.
how's it going?
it's going, man. Took me a while to get here.
Oh, no worries, man. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm a fellow Kansas person, just like Chopper Fett there. I ride around with my daughter, Nyla. She just went to bed. She got tired of waiting. And, you know, we just kind of ride around, hang out, and share time together. I started the channel originally just for fun, just to meet other motorcycle riders. But she went for a ride with me one day. I slapped the camera on the helmet, and now she's there every time.
Oh, that's cool. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing recently.
Nothing much, man. We're still working. We never closed down or anything where I work, so we've just been working constantly. You know, so we haven't no shutdown for us. So we just working and trying to make things like that go on.
Exactly. And so what's your moto vlog setup like?
You know, I'm testing out several things, to be honest with you. I've got about 6 helmets with 6 different setups that I've been trying out. So I've tried everything at this point. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there she is. Little Mrs. Kansas girl, how are you?
Hello.
I've got your stickers.
There you
I'm
go.
going to send stuff out to you as well.
And my kiddo just went to bed. They could have been friends.
She had to come back, I guess. But
What time is
yeah,
it now?
we, I'm not very computer savvy, so I don't really do so well with this kind of stuff.
I can relate.
But yeah, once I put her on board, you know, it just kind of made it a whole different level of what we want to do, and we've got several things that we want to try this summer. But you know, we're in a very small town, you know, 9,000 people, and so we've already ventured out, and she's met Motorcycle Mama. She's talked to the Kiwi riders on the video, Dad and Mad. We've talked to them.
That's
We
cool.
talked to them quite a bit, actually. And Dano Moto and Lola Moon, we're trying to get hooked up to where we can have a video chat with them. And now that I know I'm not too far away from this guy over here, then definitely take a trip up to KC and say what's up.
For sure, man. Not that our roads are very exciting, but at least riding with someone makes it a little bit more entertaining. So
Hopefully we can see fresh Dyna.
That's a long ride.
That's going to be a very long ride.
Yeah, her big thing is to meet Dad and Matt. So we're trying to set it up to go over there in a few years.
Nice.
that would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
We me and her mother, we went to Charlotte, North Carolina back in February and met with JT Sutherfried and his wife. And
But I need to see them.
yeah, she didn't get to see him, but so we've managed to meet a few different vloggers at this point. And, it's amazing how many are actually around us, like Chopper Fett. There's a few.
Fresh Dyna.
He's in Singapore.
He's a little far away.
Yeah, really far away.
Ozark HD Riders is in the area. I think
Yeah.
there's a couple others from Missouri.
Glide, Arkansas. They're over there.
Motorcycle Mama.
Motorcycle Mama. But I'm curious to ask, whoever wants to answer it, is what got them into doing the motor vlog thing. Why did you feel the need to even do it in the first place? Yep, I'm talking to them.
Let's start with
I
riding.
mean, I'll start.
Okay.
Or whoever wants to start. I mean, I started doing it for my kid. I figured, I'm going to. He's not into anything that I do now, but 4 or 5 years from now, he might like to see some of the experiences that I went on, type of thing. So I started it for him, and now I'm doing it for myself because I try to get him to watch one of my videos. He's like, no, Moana, no, Frozen. I'm like, oh, I'm losing out to Moana and Frozen, really? I mean, I'm on a motorcycle, man. But, whatever. But that's why I started, was for my kid. And then you get that creative itch to keep trying to one up your last thing that you do. So, and when I see, things like Fletch and Webb have done in the past, it's just like, like Webb, your mail call, for example, was top notch. It was something very creative. So now I'm always thinking, what can I do for my mail calls that's not just me talking to the camera, type of thing. So, seeing all these other people around me, how they are trying to get better and everything, makes me want to get better as well. So, I mean, that's how I started, and now it's where I'm at now. But how about you, Ride? What got you into this?
I've always enjoyed technology and design and photography. So picking up a camera and seeing other people having YouTube as a soapbox to just record their everyday living seemed interesting. So I figured, why not give it a try? So I did that for a while, and then I figured it's time to pivot and try to make my channel more focused. So I started this channel to give tips to riding. So I don't vlog anymore. I thought about vlogging again, but everything's so opinionated, but who cares, right? I'm not here to get to be famous or be rich. I'm just here to just help share my experience and help educate new riders and anyone that wants to get better at riding. So that's what I'm doing.
Cool. Awesome. Diesel?
I don't know. I honestly, I work as a power engineer right now and I have for a lot of years, but I started off life as a heavy duty mechanic, and then I was a super pro crew chief for a long time. And so I build a lot of engines and racing engines up to almost 2,000 horsepower, injected alcohol, racing diesel engines. And so I thought that's what I was going to do. But I always watched YouTube. I mean, it's just been a thing you do, and there's all kinds of neat stuff on there to see. And I never, ever imagined I would have one. And then I thought, maybe I should put engine building on there. And then I thought, well, you know what? How do you build an engine on YouTube? I've watched some engine building YouTubes, and actually, Leaky, I answered you in a direct message on Instagram. So I thought, like, man, that'd be like long, boring videos. Who wants to watch you put rings on and drop a piston in, and but passionate about my bike. I've been riding since I was 5 years old. Like I said, I had a big brother. There was a biker, got me into it. I raced motocross for years, and then I went to metrics for years on the street, and now Harley. So I thought, well, this is cool. Why not take something I really, really love to do and share it and try the YouTube thing? So this was a way that I could get into it, expense wise, I already had the bike, obviously. So it was just the camera equipment and, getting, I had a decent computer, and so I could do the editing. So I thought, it seems like something that not too complicated to do. Getting good content is complicated, but doing it not so much. So so I thought, yeah, let's give this a whirl, and it's an absolute blast. And I think one of my favorite things is the people I've met more than anything. So same comment, not trying to get rich, just want to have fun. So,
and Mr. Webb, I gotta ask. Yep.
My mom bought me a camera, like an action camera, for Christmas, I think 2015 or something like that. And I was riding motorcycles, that kind of stuff. So I started using it as like a traffic, what do you call it? A dash cam. And that was fine. But then I realized that if you have a dash cam, you still have to pull the footage off to review it if anything fun happens. So I started, just looking through my videos for when people pull out on me or whatever. And I started realizing that there are a lot of people on YouTube that take such videos and put them on the internet. But they're really like dumb. You know what I mean? Like people shouting at people that are people shouting at people that didn't come anywhere near them and all that kind of stuff. It was kind of embarrassing. So I kind of figured out, took all those clips and started making clips like that, but like making fun of people that put not so dangerous situations on the internet. And from then on there, I just started editing video and then just kept doing it, I suppose, just trying to, as you said, keep making every video better than the last. But I also just like experimenting with things and playing with things. Like one of my favorite things to use, I don't know if anyone knows what that is.
Got me.
That's a Hero.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that old school?
No, it's a Hero 4.
Oh, that's the Hero 4?
Yeah, it's interchangeable lens. So now I just kind of make videos where I start messing around with things. So that's about it.
And you were mentioning earlier
awesome,
you could
though.
flash it, right?
No, so that's the later model. So GoPro released the Hero 5 in 2016, and then they took that Hero 5 in 2018 when they released the Hero 7.
Right.
There was a camera called a Hero 2018, which was released with the Hero 7. Right.
I remember that.
All it was a Hero 5 Black, but with reduced feature set that they sold as a cheaper camera.
Right.
So you can then flash it back into a Hero 5 Black just by putting the Hero 5 Black firmware on it. It's physically the exact same camera. That's all.
Can you do that with like silver, like a five?
I don't believe so. But I could be wrong.
Here's a question from
that's
Kevin.
a good question.
Superman Kev. Have you ever gone back and looked at your first video? Never.
No.
I haven't. Mine's 18 minutes long. I'm not going back and looking at that.
My first video
she
was
has.
about 12 years ago. I uploaded one video and then didn't upload another one for another 10 years.
That nightmare is still fresh in my mind because it was only a month ago.
Bye.
She's got to go to bed, guys. She's
Good
See you, Matt.
Hi, little Miss Kansas girl.
Bye.
Oh,
Good night.
It's a bit late. I got
The people.
I got into this, I think, several years ago. Initially, it was just like web. It was more of a dash cam, and when you see a lot of those accidents happening, and I think the first one I ever got was a GoPro Hero 4 session, and it was more just to be able to play back stuff if something happens, because there were a lot of people just being irresponsible and stuff. Then I realized that, let's take this as far as you can go. And I think in that time, the upcoming YouTube moto vlogger was Blockhead, right? He was just starting out also, I think in 2015 or 2014. So I was inspired by this. The guy is talking to himself on the road. How crazy is that? Why don't we do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And have the cops take you away when they see you at the traffic light talking to yourself.
This guy's purely crazy.
And to this day, we still get looks at traffic lights, right? When we talk, oh, listen, take a look at this, and rant. And then this guy's looking at you like there's something really wrong with this guy.
What's really bad is when you're at a stoplight and you're like, I didn't sync my audio, and you have to stand there and you clap your 3 times or whatever. Yeah, that gets you some looks too.
The clapper. Yeah.
I'm clapping for the light to turn red.
Terrific, man. Leaky.
There you go. There's someone who went back and looked at this first one.
Yeah. Leaky, fellow Canuck. Yeah. Another guy, he's not too far from me either, so.
Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so late getting on here. I thanks for having me. I have to go read bedtime story. I can hear you.
That's important.
Family's important.
Hopefully you guys will invite me back now that I know how to get on here and talk with y'all. And but dad duty calls, man. So I'll send out some stickers to you. I'm gonna look up the other guys. If you got POs and stuff, I'll look that up. Maybe we can do swap stuff there. And I'm gonna be up in the KC area soon, man. I'll look you up and I'll holler at you.
Excellent, man. Thank you very much.
Have a great night.
You too, man.
I find that it takes me longer to edit a video than it does to do the video.
It does.
And
I know.
Well, like I said, I really enjoy that. I think it's fun. So
actually, someone I would like to have come on board is While on Two's vlog, because I tell you something, I've been watching his stuff recently, and I realized that he's got the clearest vlog setup so far, right? So I'm really curious to hear a little bit about from him. So While on Two's, if you can, I just put a link in the chat. Could you just come on in and let's talk about your setup and talk a little bit about yourself as well. So
Fletch, thanks for having me on, brother.
You're welcome, man.
I got a bolt, so
no worries, man.
Yeah, but yeah, it was really cool. I was surprised I got asked. So
I think it's good to come on board, and I think, like I said, part of the topic today is about our motor vlog setups, and it'd be great that since you're starting up, you're getting a lot of good advice. Some of the advice that you had was something that I found new for myself as well. Like the turning of. Remember we were talking about in Scouser's live chat about how to plug it in to avoid turning it around. That's something new. So we're always learning, right?
For sure.
I thought it would be great that when you're doing your vlog and your setup, we could also learn from that as well.
Well, yeah, there's always tips and tricks. So, anyways, you guys all have a good night. It was great to ride your ride. Nice to meet you, Webb, Chopper. Good to see you, buddy. And Anonymous is going to bed too. So, yeah, I 4 o'clock comes real early, so my wife came down and gave me the 2-minute warning. You need to go to time. Yeah, you need to get some sleep. So I'm not going to argue because I want a drone. All right, take care, guys.
Yeah, Diesel.
Thanks,
See you,
man.
Diesel.
See ya.
Take care.
Yo, Tommy, with the GoPro Hero 7 versus Hero 8 question, I don't have an opinion on it because I've never owned either of them. I got burnt really hard on the audio adapters for my Hero 5, and I'm really petty, so I'll never buy another GoPro product ever again because of that. So I don't know the difference between the 7 and 8 because I never used them, sorry.
7 and 8 difference, it's really Hypersmooth 2.0. I think that's the main difference between the two. There might be some audio settings that Fletch and I have kind of discovered as far as It's a little bit better against wind noise because Fletch can actually hear his motorcycle now. But you know, if they're within a $50 difference, I would probably just opt for it. But if they're over $150 difference, I'd probably actually opt for the 7, to be honest.
I did notice that in my local electrical dealership, electrical retailer, GoPro's doing deals on the Hero 8. So the Hero 8 was $499 and the Hero 7 was $549.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, I mean, it's not a good time for any of these companies because I noticed even the Insta360R, they're having trade in any action camera. We'll give you $60 off type of thing. So it doesn't have to be working, just anything. Just send it in. They'll credit you $60. My dad was able to find the 360R up in Canada for cheaper than it was here in the States. So he's just importing it in. He got it in yesterday. So, I mean, I think these companies are starting to hurt given the situation that we're all in. You know, we're all kind of strapped for cash, maybe a little bit more than we usually are. And I think these big electronic giants are hurting a little bit.
I think that back in the day, people used to buy action cameras as a novelty, and then people started buying drones instead. Because I found a lot of people that are selling things like older GoPros and stuff like that that's been used once. So,
yep. I mean, that was my GoPro 4 when I bought it. It was used like twice. Hey, I'll pay $70 to get going into this world. Why not? But yeah, that's a good point though, Webb. Drones are like the new, I don't want to say fad. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but it kind of seems like that's where the cool images are coming from nowadays.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't cost that much more from an action cam.
I bought my entire Spark and everything for $200 because the guy never used it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the DJI MAvic 2 I think is $499, which is the price of basically a Hero 8 for the most part. So, you know, you can get something that goes in the air and shoots more. I'll say it's more epic footage to see those vast landscapes, but I live in Kansas. There's not much to see. So
to be fair, I've flown my drone up just with no video. I've just flown it for the fun of flying it.
See, and I think that'd be a fun hobby too. And then that way you don't even. That'd be a much cheaper way to get into flying a drone. So,
have you thought about doing? Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask Webb. Have you thought about doing the FPV? So you can fly it like that.
It's one of those rabbit holes, you know what I mean? I've got enough hobbies that require so many things that it's the same with dirt bikes. I really want to get a dirt bike, but the problem is you buy the dirt bike for a couple $1,000, you know, just a cheap one. But then it's all the other stuff that really, really builds up. So I would like to, but it's like everything from 3D printing to laser cutting to dirt biking to just stuff I can't afford to go down that rabbit hole, you know?
For action cameras, okay, I have one, but I feel like it is judging me.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Yeah,
I think going back to the GoPro. Sorry, man. I think going back to the GoPro, and I agree with Webb. I think to have the GoPro, and then you have to have that other brick, which is fairly expensive, right? And it sticks out. And now they've gone the route with the media mod for the 8, and it's not that cheap either. I mean, it's costing me already about $500 Singapore for the 8, and I still have to fork out another $150 for the media mod.
Has there been any reliability issues with the mod? I'm happy to pay for something which works and is reliable. My biggest problem with the GoPro audio adapters, as I went through 2 of them, is that they were just horrible. Like the Hero 4, you can build your own cable for $12, no worries. Hero 5, you have to pay $80. This is Australian dollars, so it's about 0.48 US cents at the moment. Just to have less functionality than what was in the previous generation, you know what I mean?
Right. So I'll say this much since I've had Media Mod for probably 3 or 4 months now. It's failed on me a couple times, but I can't pinpoint it to being GoPro's fault. It's just when I feel like the connection when you plug in the 3.5 jack into the back of it, it doesn't give you that solid click. Like, you know, it's like connected. So I feel like when the wind's kind of whipping up and in there, maybe it's disconnecting it, because my video has one time started out just fine, but then when I went home to, when I was reviewing it, the first 5 minutes were going through the mic, and then I could tell after that it was going straight from the GoPro because it's the whole time, because the second it disconnects, it goes off the front camera or the front mic.
See, with the 5, when my adapter was starting to get flaky, it just cuts all the audio altogether.
Oh,
so,
yeah, it doesn't do that anyway. I would say though the audio has been there 90% of the time. So I mean, I guess you could say is anything that we use, I feel like there's going to be some level of error that could happen, whether it's no matter what the product name is. My Tascam for the other day. So I've been using external mic lately, so I decided to use it in the garage. It failed on me. So it's like it's like I can't, sometimes it's just like you have to have like backups for it. So anytime I record nowadays, I have some sort of backup running, just so I don't waste my footage anymore. But I don't know. I guess my jury is still kind of out. I still use the Media Mod. I only use it now for dual vlogging, because I have the Panda mic hooked into basically where my Sena is. And so I'll use it for dual vlogging. I run my audio through Tascam now. So
that's what I need to do. I've got an audio recorder, but it's 15 years old, so it doesn't handle the wind noise very well.
The Tascam DR05, you can really get the settings dialed in for it.
Okay.
My video, I think that goes out live next week. Is my
it's out already?
I've been using it, but the next week is my finalized setting that I'm not changing. Right. I've written it down, I've saved it. I'm not doing anything else with it because I've tested it forever and ever. And I feel like it's the best overall setting. It could probably be better, if you're at lower speeds, you don't need to have this much cut out, but like I don't want to have to keep adjusting it every single time. So I know if I go 45, maybe it cuts out a little bit of my engine noise. But if I'm going 55, 60, it's cutting out my wind and you can still hear me. So that's why I'm setting it and forgetting it and being done with it, because I'm ready just to ride. I haven't just ridden in so long. I mean, that's the other challenge is, I'm running out of footage again. So tomorrow I have a day off. I have to go film. I'm going to go film all morning. And then hopefully I can just ride for myself in the afternoon. That's the goal, but we'll see if that happens or not.
Yeah, exactly. But
Too
your
often, Kev.
Tascam has voice or noise reduction. Is that it?
It doesn't necessarily have a noise reduction, but you can cut out certain frequencies. Right. So if you can figure out what the wind frequency inside your helmet is, you can kind of do that hard cut on it so it doesn't even record it. So it just basically saves a lot of post-editing work that you would have to normally do. I think what I ended up doing is I ended up cutting out anything 120 hertz and lower. Just doesn't get recorded, and it seems to make my voice nice and clear. And you can kind of hear the engine rumble from time to time. Still a little bit of wind noise, but I don't mind a little bit of wind noise. I don't want it to be complete voiceover quality, I guess. So
sterile, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of that.
Good word for it.
Just trying to see if I can set the low cut filter on this one, because it's got a low cut filter, but I think it might be a hard coded, on or off, not something you can change the frequency of.
Yeah, with the Tascam, you could do 40, 80, 120, and 240 for the low cut. So
okay.
Got quite a bit of control over it.
Maybe you should consider that if you still don't want to purchase a 4 or anything else, and you hear all the things we keep talking about, and then all the problems we had. Might as well get a video recorder. A voice recorder. Right? I don't think it's very expensive. I mean, how much was it? Would that cost?
The Tascam thing? It was like $80. Shipped
I have
Amazon.
a DR40, so it takes
I think that's
XLR,
better
but
than mine.
I'm sure I can do a different. I can figure something out with this.
Yeah,
I stole this from work.
I think that's the worst. You stole from work.
Hey Jarvis.
Oh great, this is on the web, dude.
Hey Jarvis.
I'm the only person there that deals with all the technical stuff, so
they won't even know it's missing.
So this is a little bit.
That's a good idea. From Wild on
Yeah, I think we
Twos.
should do that.
Hey, Jarvis, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Good. Glad you could join us tonight.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Jarvis.
Jarvis, did you pick that up?
Jarvis?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so sounds like we got a sound delay here.
Oh, I think it's because you're listening off from YouTube. If you just put that on mute and just be in StreamYard, you'll be able to hear us clearly.
Okay. Okay, let me work on my sound for a minute, and then I'll.
No worries, man. No worries. So, sorry, you were showing us that the recorder that you had.
Yeah, it's a DR40. I just got it, so I'm trying to figure it out. Recording video is easy. Understanding frequencies with audio, that's a whole different thing I'm trying to figure out and learn.
Sure. But I think it probably might add a little bit.
Is exactly that. Yeah.
Sorry,
my last video is 6 different frequency settings to try and figure it all out. So, because I don't know it. I'm not a technical guy. I just know these technical things work if you set them up right. So, I think what you have would work if you ever wanted to go that route.
I could try it. Doesn't hurt to try. I already have it, so.
Right? Yeah. Right. Exactly. I mean, even if you just like set it up for inside your house and use it inside your house, you can hear how clear it sounds and go in a car. You know. They're after.
I'm good to go now, guys.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Hey,
What was
Jarvis.
the question?
The question was, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Okay, so we live in Jarvis, Ontario, Southern Ontario, Canada. We're about a little over an hour from Buffalo, and we're about 3 hours from Detroit. So we're right on the old Highway 3, the old truck route. We got all the little hotels and stuff around, lots of good little roads around. We got lots of lakeside places to run, and so I got into moto vlogging the start of last season. Just wanted to document our rides and keep it for history, because there'll be some day that we're not going to be able to do it anymore, and we kind of wanted to make sure that we archived everything so that we'd have it to look back on later on. So that's how I really got into it, and it's an expensive hobby, but it's a fun hobby, and we're having a little bit of fun doing it. So yeah,
and that's awesome. I think we were talking. I think today's topic basically is talking about our helmets and Moto V setup. So, what do you walk us through your setup?
Okay, so I've got HJC helmets. I got the IS17 IS, so the internal shield, and then I've got the IS Max with the internal shield, but a modular type. So I run both types of those. Hero 7 Black on my helmet cam, and I bought the camera holder that has for the external mic adapter, because those Heroes have that. The Hero Session 5, which I have, will use that same mic adapter, but for the Hero 7, it's built right into so it has a holder right into the camera mount, so it makes it kind of handy. If you look at my view looking back at me, you can see the unit on there. So, and then I run the Hero 5 Session on the handlebar, and then I've got another Hero 4 Session on the back, and I have another Hero 4 Session that I can run on the crash bar if I want. So I'm well hooked up with cameras. The microphone is hand built out of one of the little Cardo pancake microphones that you'd stick on the inside of the bar of your helmet.
Right.
I tore a couple of those apart. I put one on the earpiece so that you can hear my passenger talk, and it's hardwired right in with the other one right to my GoPro. So, and then the thing I like about them is
they're not just a little tiny microphone. They actually have a little like a little circuit board on them, and I think it's the sound reduction, like the wind noise killer circuitry built into it. So that's in these microphones, and it seems to work really good. And I hope they never fail, because I've got no more in my kit. I'm gonna have to buy some more Cardo stuff to get some more of those microphones. So
You can't buy them separately, like Cena's?
what's that?
You can't buy them separately, like the Cena microphones?
I think you could probably. I could get them off. Like we've got Fort9 here in Canada. It's like a Revzilla kind of outlet out of Montreal that you can get all those parts from. But it's like everything else that comes from the U.S. It's all very
nice little
expensive.
tax.
Well, the duty is what makes me mad. And then if it comes UPS, they get their little customs broker fee too. So that's about $50. So yeah. So there's my stepson on his Harley there in that picture. There's my trip to New Hampshire. That's a sad place there, gentlemen. The 7 Bikers site.
That was terrible.
That will bring you down instantly when you're there. There's still chalk, like paint outlines on the road from where everybody was. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember hearing about that. That makes you kind of think twice before you put your leg over again. But, you know, I think we kind of all know what our risk is every time we hop on, though.
Yeah, and I think everybody's had their little tumbles. You know, it takes a while to learn, and then you learn, and you don't do that stuff anymore, right? So then it becomes you're watching for others after that. You're not harming yourself. It's you're watching out for somebody else harming you. So we just had a couple get in a big bad one there just the other day up near Port Dover, which is about 10 minutes from us. And we have the Orange Air, they call it, so the big medical helicopters. So they took one of them with that, and the other one went by ambulance very slowly. So it wasn't good. So you just got to watch. They'll turn on you. They'll cut left. They'll pull out on you. They'll do whatever they got to do. They'll be on their phone. They'll drive in your lane.
Well, Papa Hefe just lost his left leg in an accident last week. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So
there was one of the U.S. The old generals or colonels out of the U.S. Army. I think there was on the news this morning. He got somebody in a car cut across and took out his front wheel, and then he hit another bike and went down, and he's road rash for forever. So.
Yeah. Oh, I think
if you hear music in the background, it's my wife being a DJ in the next room. She's cranking the tunes in there. So
yeah, Dan did a review because turns out that that guy wasn't wearing any gear except for like a half helmet and maybe some boots. You know, regular jeans, just a vest.
Yeah.
So he's lucky to be alive.
Yeah. He said he was doing about 70.
Yeah,
he was rolling
70 on the highway, and you go down.
So I was going like 80 kilometers, so 50 mile an hour. I got taken out by a lady on a riding lawnmower about 25 years ago, and I still got scars today. But another thing, it was a really hot day, and I'll go without, and I just put a light long sleeve shirt on, which probably saved most of my skin, but I lost a lot on my hand and stuff. So because you don't have gloves, so now I wear the half gloves, and I think it's the most important thing is gloves, because it's the first thing you put down when you fall. You put your hands up to protect yourself, and if they're not protected, they're going to suffer, right? So, and that was the case with me at the time. So yeah,
I think it usually takes someone or happening to yourself to make sure you're always wearing it. I know here locally, it was right before Christmas last year, a husband and wife hit a deer on the highway, and both of them, they left behind 2 kids. Which, so I think I've said in a few of my videos, That's the reason my wife and I won't ride the same bike, so she'll never ride two up with me, is because I mean, she has her own motorcycle and we've group rides ourselves, but if one of us hits the deer, there's a good chance the other one, A, is going to be able to call an ambulance, and B, if something happens to one of us, the other one's still not going to be there for the kids. So it's such a morbid thing to think about, but that was something that we discussed before we even started riding, was we have to be responsible for our family.
Well, it happens.
Road type of thing.
It happens. Yep. I mean, our riding group, we've got North 42 riders up here out of Simcoe, Ontario, and the week before I joined the club and started riding with them, the lead rider got taken out by a deer on a ride doing about 40 mile an hour. So he got scuffed up a little bit, and he just put hard bags on his Harley, and they got all scratched up. He had to put the soft bags back on, so he's a little angry about that. But the wife and I, we had one jump out. There was a car coming the other way, and he jumped out in front of that car, and I just thought, please don't hit that deer, because I knew where it was going to go. If he hit it, it was coming right at us. Right. But the doe got by and cleared the car, and everything was good. So
I think my closest encounter was a deer as well. It's like one of my first vlogs that I did. I was done recording for the day. I was like, all right, time to go home, watch some football for the day. I'm like, all right. And just kind of mindlessly, but senses were still going because I didn't miss him by much. And I reviewed the video footage because I still had the camera running. It was amazing to see what all your instincts will do to avoid hitting that deer. So like you could tell I hit the rear brake because I started to lurch down. You saw me downshift. You saw all this happen within a second, and a slight swerve just to miss the thing. And it's just crazy when you think about it. Like it's like that, and he's gone. But all this stuff happens with your hands so quickly. It's like, how is that even possible? So, I still kind of get shivers when I think about that one. Actually,
cat-like reflexes.
Yeah, and I hate cats.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I don't have stories like that of avoiding animals, because I think where we are in Asia, there isn't really a lot, and the highways are way off the farm areas, so we never get I wouldn't say an opportunity, but a chance to hit wildlife. I think the only time I came across something weird, and luckily we were at slow speed, we were in Phuket in Thailand, and we have to go up a mountain range to get out of that particular place in Thailand. And as we were going up the mountain, there was this, as we turned around the corner, there was this huge elephant right in the middle of the road.
Jeez.
And luckily we were doing like 30 or 40 kilometers an hour, right? Not miles an hour, kilometers an hour. So we still could like stop in time, and we literally had to wait on that hill for the guy to just get off the road. So
in Canada, it'd be a moose, not an elephant. Yeah.
And
I got taken out by a German Shepherd once. I got on a gravel road, and a dog ran out in front of me. It was either take the pothole or the dog. I picked the pothole. It was probably the wrong decision because I ended up going down. So, but yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
Webb, have you ever had a close encounter with a kangaroo?
In a car, yes. One actually bounced into my car. I didn't drive into it, so I swerved to avoid it, and then it continued bouncing and hit the side of my car. Other than that, no, not really. You do see them quite a lot bouncing around on the side of the road and stuff like that. I've fortunately never hit one. I assume one day it'll happen because a lot of my friends have. So yeah.
Jeez. So I say your kangaroo problem is probably like our deer problem here in the Midwest. It's just
big time.
Yeah.
And the problem is that because we live in the city, with lots of manicured lawns, so the population explodes because they've got unlimited food.
I didn't think about that. I noticed like during all this COVID stuff that's been going on, like deer have been like taking back land that they kind of were deforested to build all these homes. Well, now all these deer are going through everyone's neighborhoods now, so it's like no one's going out to stop them now. Now that we opened everything up again, it's open season, I think, again. But yeah.
First come the deers, then come the bears.
They have coyotes in my neighborhood.
Oh,
Coyotes?
Yeah.
If you guys ever want to hear the weirdest sound, have you ever heard a fox? Like, legit heard like what the fox says?
Sorry.
there was a
It
song about that,
sounds
wasn't
like-
there?
There's a song, but it's nothing like anything that they say. It literally sounds like a child or a small woman getting just beaten to death.
Possums sound like that too.
Yeah, it's like, I remember the first time I woke up freaked out. My wife's like, it's just a fox. I'm like, that's a fox? You guys are kidding me. Oh, goodness. All right.
It's all quiet.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's happening? I'm like trying to get into the chat here and see what's out there. And I'd like to say hello to Prairie Boy 77. Really like to see you without your beard. You look like Paul Newman. That's the one I was trying to think about. You look like Paul Newman, man, without the beard. Anyway,
I just seen him last night on Rocket Riders 510 live stream.
right. I know he had that $500 challenge where he had to shave it off. I think it was awesome. Full Throttle Junkie that helped him out.
Yeah, just donated like $300 some. Let's make it happen.
Hey, Jarvis, besides the all the GoPros and stuff, what else do you use for your vlogs? Do you have a drone, or do you?
Yeah, I've got a MAvic Mini. Sorry.
MAvic Mini.
I'll apologize for having a drone.
No, you're good.
Because we all do.
Haven't flown it much. Getting used to using it. Twice I've corrupted the file after I, did such a great job making a video, and then I didn't shut it down properly. I got to work on that procedure to make sure that I don't destroy my videos. But they're fun and it's cool. There's some cool shots. I just got to make sure that I get them into my computer next time. Flying it, there's a lot of beautiful coastline along the lake and stuff that you can get some pretty good views for everybody. So looking forward to a little more. We've been having some pretty crappy weather here, so I haven't had a chance to get it out too much.
I feel you. It's been raining for 2 weeks here. I can't even get out on a ride.
It rained all day today, and last week we had, I think, 3 days of wet snow, but it never accumulated on the ground, but it snowed. It was just cold enough that it would make it crappy out. So, yeah. Up until May too, for like they always said, don't plant your garden or anything because you could have frost or snow, so they always, the old timers, that's what they said. So it's true.
I just have to block out those blue skies so I don't make Fletcher sad.
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah, so we're seeing ice and snow, and then we watch Fletch videos, and it's all like lush green and beautiful, and it's in a t-shirt rolling around through town.
Yeah,
I think he gets that once every 3 weeks, though.
The jealousy gets rampant for a while.
It's all fake because it's just 1 day in 2 weeks,
It's a green screen. It's a green screen.
Right? Down. That's crazy, man.
Well, I'm assuming that being tropical and stuff like that, you should be able to have blue skies and then really heavy rain and then blue skies again within 10 minutes.
Tropics, right?
It's just that now with the lockdown, nobody cares about the 5-day week anymore and the work hours, right? Everybody says it's 9 to 5, and it's 5-day week. Bullshit. They're calling you up at 8 in the evening, or really early in the morning on a Saturday or on a Sunday. Say, listen, it's Sunday. Really? No difference. I'm working from home, right? Mm-hmm. So that we work, and then when it's time for us to get out, it's suddenly pissing down rain. Like now, for instance, it was sunny earlier. I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna get a ride right after this, and I could just see the cloud. I could feel the clouds change, and it's getting dark again. So that's out the window.
Well, I moved into an apartment about 5 minutes away from my office because I was sick of commuting from the country in. And then as soon as that happened, everything got locked down. So now I'm stuck in this shitty ass apartment when I could be out in the rolling fields.
bugger that, right? Oh man.
How long was your commute before moving to the city?
About 50 minutes.
That's a good jag.
But
used to
sitting
have-
most.
Sorry, I used
So
to have
is everybody in the group still working or not? I don't know.
Yep, we all.
Yeah, it's not same here. Yeah.
I'm somehow an essential worker. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I wonder why
And my customer base is worldwide, so I get like texts at 3 a.m. every once in a while and stuff like that going on. So then they're like, "Oh, shit, I never even thought of it." Sorry, they wake you up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Part
I'm
of the
IT,
deal.
so, you know.
Whenever we got clients from the US, you have to start work at 3 a.m., but that's all right.
Oh, jeez.
That's tough.
It's usually about the time my kid wakes me up.
Or the dog.
Or the dog.
That seems to be our problem.
Yeah.
We in the last 2 or 3 episodes that we had, Chopperfed and I were talking about suspensions and seats. So, did you guys change out your seats and suspension?
I did on the Goldwing. I put a ultimate seat on with the backrest and the pillion riders back of the seat. So I checked them out at the bike show in Toronto 2 winters ago, and then made arrangements to buy it in the spring just before we left. They give you 14 days to try it out. So I got it just before we were leaving for New Hampshire, which is about a 10-hour ride, and that was the break-in test for the ultimate seat, and it passed, and I kept it. So we really like it. It's a lot better than the stock. Now mine bike's an 05, and that seat probably had seen its better. It had 42,000 miles on it when I got it, so it was well broken and used, and I don't think it was taken care of very much by the previous owner. So it needed to go, and I like the seat. Suspension wise, nothing really. I put taper bearings in the steering head. That was the
Stability.
probably one of the best upgrades I did to that bike, and I much safer, better, more precise steering. No rattle, like if you go over a pothole or something it's just like an old bicycle. It just had that little cheap race in there with the ball bearing, and that was it. And I mean, my kid's bicycle had that kind of stuff in it still, and this was a $25,000 bike back in the day, and they're putting that junk in it. So that was the best upgrade that you could probably do. I had the forks apart, rebuilt them, new shims, new bushings and everything, and changed the fluid out to something different, and they're working a lot better. But that's my upgrade. That's all I did.
Well, that's good, man. I think we always assume that all these touring bikes will have the best suspensions and the best stock seats and everything else. Then when we get on it and then get off it, that we realize that it's not true, right? And you would think, and to me, I know I've got a lot of friends who ride Gold Wings, from the really old version to the new one that we have now.
Yeah.
And I always think that the distances they ride, that they would just, everything's on board and everything is comfortable, they're good to go. But I also realize they always swap out their, maybe not so much the suspension, but on the newer bikes, but definitely the seats.
Yeah,
for sure.
A lot of guys are going to the aftermarket seat. Now I do have a Concours as well. I have a 2012 1400 Concours, and the seat on it's good for about 4 hours, and then you got to part ways for a while, and then you can get back out. So I'll use it. I'll run to Kingston from here. I got an uncle up in the hospital up there, and so I'll run up there. It's a 4.5 hour ride, so it's better in the traffic, quicker to get through and get there, and I like it for that. So, but it could use an aftermarket seat. Suspension wise, it's beautiful, but seat is a little bit of a downer.
Sure, understand. What about you, Webb? Changes in your bike?
Factory seat. For front springs are being upgraded to, I don't know, I just went to the suspension shop and said, make it more better. And the rear has a 2-inch raise in it. So it's sitting at 13.5 inches.
Oh, okay.
But still a stock spring and all that.
I realized that yours is a Dyna, right? Yours is a lowrider.
No, it's a Softail lowrider.
A soft. Oh, the Softail lowrider. Okay.
So it's the bike that killed the Dyna.
Oh, okay. So that's the one with the monoshock, right?
Yeah, and the M8 and all that.
Oh, that pains me, man.
And what's funny is that I bought it and I did all the suspension work and all the motor work and stuff like that. And then they were like, "Oh, hey, we're bringing out a lowrider S."
You son of a gun.
And what about you? Your ride.
My suspension's pretty. Everything's stock. My seat is stock and my suspension is stock. I do want to upgrade both front and rear because I've gone to the track a couple times with my bike, and the front suspension is very soft. So when I'm hitting the brakes, you just dip, and there are too many times where it felt like I was going to high side. So I do want to have stiffer suspension.
What are you riding though?
Yamaha FZ07, 2016.
Right, so that's exactly what we were talking about and when we talked about suspensions, right? For most part, the Harleys you could change, or for most of the bikes, I think you swap out the rears. You don't have to think about the front suspension because it is not meant for performance or racing.
Mm-hmm.
But in your case, it's a racing bike, so when you take corners, it's definitely going to dive.
Yeah.
If you've got something soft, right?
Yeah,
so it's a good idea to
soft.
swap it out.
Yeah.
So how does it handle on corners now if you change it, or when you do change it?
It's assuming better because it's just a fairly light bike. It's very nimble. That's why I love it. It's perfect for splitting lanes in the city. The handlebars, I got aftermarket handlebars to make them less wide, so I could even squeeze in tighter situations. And it's very flickable. It's a small bike, not like when I ride my siblings' Harleys. There's even like sometimes the sporties are kind of wide, and those Road Kings, Road Glides, they're just heavy. They're so
just
heavy.
a chunk.
Yeah, and when you're going really slow, I feel like I'm gonna drop them. I was like, oh no. I'm just not used to it, but they're still fun. They're great to cruise on. I prefer, I guess it depends what type of riding am I doing. If I'm in the city, I'd like a nimble bike. But if I'm gonna do a couple hours out in the country, up in the hills, I don't mind being in a cruiser. So it's nice having options to be able to borrow bikes from my brothers and my sister. So one day I'll have my own.
Brothers and sisters have motorbikes, right?
Yeah, I come from a family that rides. So yeah.
I want to say hello to Jay Renee. Welcome.
Howdy.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah, that's good, man. I think it's important that. Oh, hey, we got the Harley Road Show.
Hey, man.
Unfortunately, we're all at work as well. I'm skiving. Mate.
Harley Roadshow lives like, I don't know, not that far from me, I don't think.
You're both in Melbourne? No,
No, he's in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I'm
He's
up
in
north,
Melbourne.
but not that far in the grand scheme of things, considering that I'm talking to people in Singapore and Canada.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I was hoping that the Harley Roadshow could hop in for a while because I'd like to talk about his setting up of his cameras on his bike, right? So we're talking about moto vlogging. I know Jarvis has done it. He's got heaps of cameras all over his bike. And I like the way Paul has set up his on his Ultra, all the different views. And I think earlier before you joined, if you checked out his recent video with the Fox, and I think those views that he had actually was fortunate enough to be able to capture that fox that he saw at the top of the mountain that he went up to in Melbourne. That was awesome.
Werribee.
Werribee.
Okay. Yeah. I think one of the guys that I know, he owns a car wrecker near there. But yeah.
Here's a question. So on the multi-camera setups, who else has trouble getting all those cameras to sync? Do you see problems? Because what I see with my GoPros is they don't save the files. Like when you look at the chip and you look at the files that are on it, they're in sequence, or they look like they're in sequence, but when you play the videos, they're not one right after the other as the numbers sequences.
Yeah, they use a really weird numbering thing.
There's something going on with mine. Like they're just doing it willy-nilly, and you got to go through and watch each segment and piece them together and renumber them before you can actually start editing your video. Just because
what it does is that it starts out with like 10,000, then it goes to 20,000, 30,000. So you can usually match the last three numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to go back and forth. Yeah. But I'm lucky with the software. I just give it all the files and it just works it out itself and syncs the audio and everything with one click. So
what's the software?
Final Cut Pro.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. I'm not rich enough for that.
It takes me about 5 seconds to get audio synced up for 2 cameras and external audio. It's just a matter of getting it. Once you find that snap or that clap, just line it, cut it, and then delete everything before, and then you have a synced up audio.
Yeah,
I was lucky because my missus, for some reason, had some video project she was doing for her work many years ago. So I logged back into her Apple account and it said, "Yep, you've got it." So I just downloaded it. Already owned it.
Nice.
Perfect.
The Harley Road.
There's the Harley Road Show.
Hey guys.
Oh, how's it going?
Hello.
Hey, Paul.
What's going on,
boys?
Pretty good, man.
Just ducked in quickly. I was on the road. I ducked in quickly to grab something home. I thought I'll just check and see how they're going, and here I am.
Excellent, man. We were talking about cameras and editing, and I think earlier I was mentioning, and I think you probably heard it, that how you set up. Like, can you just walk us through your setup on your bike a little bit?
So, just happen to have them handy. I've got 2 of these cameras, GoPros. I've also got a third one, which has got a cracked windscreen, which if you saw any of my vlogs, that's it there with a cracked windscreen. Cracked lens, I mean, which was dead unlucky. So I use these alligator mounts, okay, which are really, really handy. They clip on wherever you sort of want. They're flexible. So I generally, when I'm talking to you guys, I've got this one, mounted to the. I've got this one mounted to the handlebars facing back, which is what I shoot in linear. And then I've generally got one either on the highway pegs. I also have one and that one I flip either upside down or the right way up. So the upside down one gives me those shots where you see back, where I'm changing gears and stuff like that. And then another one I shift that one around generally, and I put that back sort of towards where maybe the foot pegs are, or on my the mounts where the panniers go, and I drop that in, and that gives me, when I drop that down low, that gives me a look right along the bottom of the bike, along the exhaust, right up to the front wheel. What I try and do is I try and get as much interesting footage and angles as possible to try and keep everybody entertained as much as possible, because what I found is that, and I sort of shoot differently to a normal vlog as well. I'm sort of more into, I want it to be a bit more of a cinematic experience, a bit of a travel show rather than just a moto vlog. So it's a little bit different. And I unashamedly sort of look at a lot of the stuff of what $1 Million Bogan did. I actually stumbled across him, fairly early on, and he's got some really good ideas which I sort of tapped into. But I also look at a lot of different stuff, not just moto vlogging. I look at documentary makers and things like that. If you look at the way they shoot docos or they shoot movies, they move along really quickly, and there's never any one angle for more than 5 seconds, unless there's somebody actually talking to camera. And even when they're talking to camera, they will generally cut from different angles, and it just keeps. And this is actually scientifically tested. It actually keeps the human brain interested
a lot more and a lot more engaged, because it's almost like chasing cookies, like leaving little a trail of cookies to follow, and that's what I found keeps my what do they call it? When the in YouTube the analytics where it shows how long people watch time and how long people are engaged for. Generally my engagement is up around 70%, which is pretty high. And I think the reason that being is because people are constantly sort of, it's another angle, another shot. And the benefit came, I heard you mention it before, Fletch, with that Fox. So I had the camera mounted going backwards. And when I took the other camera off and walked down to actually meet the Fox and give it a pat on the nose, the other camera was shot back. So it actually picked me up, bending down or kneeling down to the Fox, and then my camera actually I had it where the Fox came up to me. So I found that was it was really good. Now somebody also asked about trying to get cameras linked or synced. I because I don't really sync my cameras. What I do is in the edit. So when I go through editing, I'll and because I'm not talking through through the helmet or anything, I'm talking directly to you. So I cut up my editing in a story more than you know what I'm saying? Like it's more I develop a story along the way. So I download all my footage into my, and by the way, I don't edit on a computer. I edit everything on my phone. I just use an app on the phone. So,
wow. It's
so
like Memphis Mike's like that. Memphis Mike does half his. Memphis Mike, he does half of his on his phone.
Yeah, because the reason I do it, the reason I do it is if I'm out on the road and I don't necessarily want to go home, and I want to put a video up, I'll just edit it there and then. Download all my stuff on off the GoPros. I've got the GoPro app, which you download everything onto it. Edit it, put it together, upload it, bingo.
Wow,
that's awesome.
You're the man.
So that's how I do. Yeah, that's how I do everything. I'm actually in the process of shooting some videos to show everybody that. I just think, when you watch these how-to videos on YouTube, a lot of it is long-winded and convoluted. It's just like, holy crap! I can't even bother watching it. It's just they make it sound so
that's
complicated.
Mine.
I love watching videos that are like how to get 1,000 subscribers from someone with 4.
It's the biggest load of shit of all time. Like seriously, like I watch a lot of them, and even if you're going to be honest, even if you watch like Nick Nimmin and what's the other guy?
Think Media.
His name is. Okay. Yeah, all those guys. They're not really telling you. What they're doing is they're making you watch the whole video to get to the end of that, and make sure you stay tuned for the next video. I'm like, okay, fantastic. What have you actually told me? You know, at the end of the day, I'll tell you what. At the end of the day, this is my opinion, right? If you put together a well-shot video with good content that people enjoy watching, people are going to watch it, right? What it comes down to more than anything else is promotion. It's getting it on Facebook, getting it on Instagram, pushing it, collabs, doing the. Now I've only done a couple of little collabs with yourself, Fletch, and with Chopper. But other than that, I haven't really done anything. And I haven't got a massive amount of subscribers yet. But I mean, I'm getting probably 30 a month at the moment. I think it is. Or I might be in touch more, maybe 40 a month, right? So I think it's got a hell of a lot more to do with the content and taking time to edit. Because at the end of the day, you want to be proud of what you're putting out, and you want it to be something that's enjoyable to watch. So that's sort of my philosophy. All these things of how to get 1,000 subscribers and how to get 100,000 subscribers. I don't know. Like it's just, I think it's some of it's some of the stuff I see. Guys that have got 200,000 subscribers, it's absolute garbage they're putting. I don't even know how they got there. Right? If you want to be honest, right? And you think to yourself, and you look at a video that's got 100,000 views, and it's really, it's a rubbish video, and the only reason it's there is because over time they might have got lucky somewhere along the line, and I think a lot of it's got to do with a lot of the guys got big before the current algorithm came in place. I think it's a lot tougher at the moment. Like anything, you get in, go back to music. If you were half decent in the '60s, you had a real good show of making it. Now it's such a big industry, and I'm only saying this because I was in that industry for a long time. That it becomes more and more difficult the bigger the industry gets to fit in your, if you can get at the start of something where there's a big wave getting created, it's always going to kick you along. So, again, so going back to the way I shoot, like I said, I think if everybody spent time really putting together the best video possible and releasing that, I think, and all the guys that are on here now, every one of them I watch is doing just that. And that's the other reason I did that moto vlogging in a COVID environment, right? What I wanted to get out of people was to get the best, most interesting take when you can't go anywhere. It's all very well for me to go to the 12 Apostles or do the Great Ocean Road and shoot that. That's always going to look fantastic. That's easy, right? Try and make something that's a K and a half for your front door look interesting. That's the tough one, right? And that's what it's about. It's about making really good content when you can't get out. In the States, when it's snowing and you can't go anywhere, okay, then that's what good creators do. They're creating really good content, interesting content when they can't get out, and that's the difference. It's like I keep saying, it's easy to shoot good stuff. It's hard to make a good video when you're shooting shit stuff. Yeah, and that's like you, Fletch. I thought that video that you did, that COVID video, I reckon that was one of your best videos you've done. But that's because it forced you to work harder. Yeah?
Yeah, I agree totally. I mean, to me, the stuff that you're doing and the stuff that Webb is doing, you're being more creative. You're not going to be churning out stuff all the time. And I've gotten into that trap, and I'm pulling away from that as well.
Yep.
If I'm going to put out something, if it's not worth putting it out, I'm not putting it out. Yeah.
Now, what's the point of putting out a video and gets 50 views? Really, it's just for the sake of putting a video out, right? So, again, I'll go back to, if you look at the good creators out there, like Itchy Boots, for example, right? Yeah. Well, she's generally not uploading every single day, but what she does upload is really, really good, right? And mate, she's got, I don't know how many thousand subscribers now. Is it, what's 300,000 or 250,000 or something? That's because it's all about you. If you're relatable and people like you, they're going to watch you, right?
Well, that's why people like Moist Critical got 5 mil, and it's just him in front of a webcam every single day.
Yep. If people enjoy watching you and you're genuine and not making shit up as you go along and trying to be something you're not, people will watch you because they're interested, right? It's when people see through. If you're trying too hard, mate, forget it. It's just you look like a wanker.
Exactly.
Is wanker a thing in the States? I'm not sure. Like a flog, a tosser. What do you call it? A knob.
What's
I
the
don't
equivalent
know.
of wanker?
A douche.
A douche. Yeah, probably.
Probably a bro. What do you call them bros that drive the bro dozers?
I don't know. I don't know what you call them, but yeah, that's where I'm coming from. So, and that's what I was saying. We're going to put some videos out because I reckon a lot of guys, especially mine and your age, Fletch, which are a bit longer in the tooth than everybody else. I think some of them get a little bit scared or shy of using technology and how to use it. The next couple of videos I'm going to do. And it's really not to gain views. It's more for those guys that I know struggle a little bit. I'm going to put those videos out just to show them that it's not as hard as they think it is. Because if you go back to YouTube and you watch YouTube, you got to buy Premiere, what is called Premiere Pro. You got to buy this, you got to buy that. You got to buy. God Almighty, you'd spend 10 grand before you started. When really what you want to do is especially when you're starting, spend as minimal as possible, but make the best content possible.
I mean, to me, there's a lot of stuff out there that's free, but you could start off with the most easiest thing, right? Is your phone.
Get confident.
Exactly. GoPro and the Insta360. In fact, Insta360, I don't edit on the computer. I do it completely on the phone. So every time when you see that 360 thing I'm doing, That's all on my phone. iPhone. I just whip it out, choose whatever I need to do, output it, and that's it. You know. And I think that the whether it's iPhone or Android, I think the apps on there are good enough to be able to edit. And I think Paul is a good example. He does everything on his phone. You know. I think we should go it that way. I think we're going too far anyway with this Final Cut Pro thing and all that. But of course, we want to be creative.
There you go. There's a challenge video for you. Shoot a moto vlog and edit it with nothing but your phone. See what people come up with.
I'll show you. I can show you where my editing suite is if you want. It's in the toilet. It's the most peaceful place in the house.
I find that the best way about going about all this is that not everybody is going to have the same kind of setup and stuff like that. And the only way to figure out what's the best way to shoot, what's the best cameras to use, and what's the best way to edit videos is just to do it yourself and figure it out for yourself. Because just because one person uses something doesn't mean it's going to work for you. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. And yeah, and the other thing is too, you want to, like you said, you want to keep it as simple as possible, because the last thing you want to do is spend all your time editing. And look, let's face it, we've all got jobs. Most of us have got kids. We've got, parents we've got to look after. We've got, things we have to go to. So you don't want to spend all your time editing. You want to do the fun stuff. You want to be out riding the bike and doing all the good stuff, not sit stuck at home editing videos 25 times a week. It's just,
I've got the exact opposite. What I'd rather is if somebody else was out there making all the video content for me and I could just edit it. The only reason I put myself in front of the camera is because I got nobody else to shoot, to be honest.
Well, there's a company at the moment. I saw them advertising on Facebook. They're charging guys. So basically, you send in your SD card, and they'll put the video together for you and send it back. And I think it's $99 for 3 minutes. A 3-minute video.
Jeez.
Damn.
Webb, there's something for you. You're in it.
Unfortunately, that'll work out about $30 an hour for me. So.
So that's what I'm about. Fletcher, you wanted to ask me about something else? Did you ask me about camera angles? I already went across that, didn't I?
Yeah, and I think the one thing that I'm really amazed is that you're always riding in an open face helmet and a half helmet, and you have that mic, right? And you sound so clear. How do you do that?
I can't even get that together with a full face.
Exactly.
That mic,
right?
that mic's not. That's not even mic. That's not what I'm talking. I'm talking only to the. It's just the GoPro mics.
What?
That's what Daniel Hayes does. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep. So what I did was, here's a little trick for everybody, is you get into the. And I'm going to do it as well. You get into the guts of the camera, and there's a setting in there which is mics. Now, there's 3 microphones on your camera. There's 2 stereo mics up the top here.
Yeah.
Right? And there's the wind mic at the front here. Now, what happens when you shoot in auto, basically the camera picks up, the microphones pick up whichever happens to be the noisiest part at the time. So, and what generally happens is that wind mic picks up most of the stuff. So then what happens is the wind mic has got a stronger diaphragm on the front of it. So you end up sounding all muffly, right? If you get into the microphone settings, you actually can go into a manual a manual setting. You delete or turn off the wind mic and just use the stereo mics, and you get perfect sound nearly every time.
Okay. We always go for the wind mics. That's why.
The wind mic's the crappy one, right? So if you're talking, say, in a recording studio, your wind mic would be the one you got shoved in the kick drum. The stereo mics are the ones that sit above the drum kit that take all the nice high, cymbals, hi-hats, all that sort of stuff. And just hang on a tick. I'm just going to show you something. Oh, sorry, my wife has been an idiot in the background. I was just going to put her on camera. So she just ran down the other end of the house.
I just stuck my thumb over the camera. That's all, because mine came in too.
Those 2 stereo mics work way better, and that's why it sounds so clear. Because I was going to go down the track of getting the housing that goes around the camera and do all that sort of stuff. But then I started investigating the microphones and everything. I think, I don't need to do this. And then when I spoke to it, it comes out crystal clear.
Do you feel as though the big old fairing would help with that?
Yeah, I think it helps.
Oh yeah, it does on mine too.
Also, if you see me when I'm facing forward, so I've got my microphone tucked into my camera tucked into my jacket like that, right? That's the forward-facing one that you see. Okay, so you guys would normally have it on the front of your helmet like that. Well, I've got it facing, it's tucked into my jacket facing forward. Now that's got plenty of wind.
The face shots.
Yeah, so I've got plenty of wind coming into that, but you just don't hear it. Because don't forget,
that's amazing.
You got this around the camera too, yeah. You got the housing that blocks out most of the wind noise because the actual microphones are hidden behind it.
Is that a 7 or an 8?
That's a 7.
7, okay.
Harley, I don't know if you were watching Fletch's face when you said that that's the mic that you use, but his jaw dropped. Yeah, that was it. That was the look.
I think, we've been overthinking things, especially me. I'm guilty of it, I think, and then we start to look for these mics and everything else. But I think the simplest solution is the best one. Right?
Definitely.
And we keep avoiding and don't think about it.
Always. Try, because look, I was going to go the whole, external mic setup and do the everything. I thought, oh man, it's just another thing I've got to put on. It's another thing I've got to worry about. And the other thing is, then all of a sudden your camera's not waterproof anymore because you've got the things open on the side. And like, if you see my videos, I ride in the rain and it doesn't worry me, right? So, the last thing I wanted to do was stuff at my camera by getting water in it. So I thought, I'm just going to try and find the easiest solution here. And I'm a little bit lucky too, because like I said, I was in the music industry for quite a long time, and I've got a lot of mates in it. So I sort of hit them up as well and said, what's a better solution for this? And the other thing is too, I've got a pretty loud voice, so that helps. Again, I try and keep it as simple as possible. Why complicate something? Doesn't have to be.
Exactly. I think the other person that I'm quite amazed at is riding in the Ozarks, Mike. Right? I don't know if you watch his stuff. Same thing. I don't understand. How we could hear him so clearly, no wind noise, and he's traveling at 60 miles or 70 miles an hour. That's crazy, man.
You know what? He's got one of the best voiceover voices I've ever heard. He could go and narrate. He could go and narrate videos. That guy. He's got the best voice. It's awesome. I actually said it to him. He said, "Man, that was awesome."
I know, and we're supposed to do something together. And I got exactly the same mic as he does. I cannot replicate it. I cannot. That's so weird. I bought the thing. I got it. I was so excited. I put it on my helmet, open face on my whatever open face I was using. The moment I hit 30 miles an hour, fuck, man, it was just useless.
Yeah, just
this guy is going on, and maybe Chopper was saying this could be his beard or something. I don't know. It was his. I don't know.
The only time I actually stuffed up was the last one I did to Queenscliff, that Queenscliff ride I did, and I was piss farting around with the bloody cameras, shooting a video to show you guys, right? And I actually forgot to put it back into manual settings. I left it all in auto, and when I got back home, I downloaded. I go, what does the sound sound so shit? Then I looked at my camera and go, dickhead. I actually frigging changed it, you like an idiot, and bloody left it in auto. So anyway, what do you do? Shit happens.
Yeah, but it's just unbelievable. I mean, another guy that's pretty good. I think I don't know if he's still on or not. It's Wild on 2's vlog.
Yeah, Wild on 2's. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really very clear. He just did the recent one, and he sounded as if he was on the news or something. He's a newscaster. He was so clear, right? And he's wearing the showy like I am as well, and I don't understand. And he says he uses a chin guard, but again, there must be something to the setup. I was hoping that he could jump in and talk about his setup so we can see. But then again, if riding in the Ozarks is any example of it, I tried to replicate and I couldn't anyway. So he must be doing something right.
Well, I think he's got his microphone not hanging down from the top of his helmet here somewhere.
No, it's right on the side.
Oh, is it right on the side?
It's right near his mouth. Yeah.
I thought he had it like just sitting at the top of his helmet. And I think he did it at one stage. I'm thinking, how the hell is that microphone working sitting there? And you're right, he's dead set clear as a bell.
Exactly. And you know how much that thing costs? $10 US. That microphone.
Maybe it is all a voiceover. Maybe it's all a ruse.
But the
You
thing
know,
is
it's a good.
that he's. I don't know.
This is a good little mic if you're ever going to use it for your phone.
Right.
A little
The
Rode
Rode,
mic.
right?
Yeah, that's a good little mic. But that's again, my kids bought that for me for Christmas or Father's Day or something. I can't remember. But again, my biggest problem is I leave it at home. I chuck my phone on the bike and away I go, and then I'll get somewhere. I go, I should have bought that bloody microphone. And the kids keep saying, "Jesus, the footage sounds really good." So it's that little mic you bought me, guys. It's not. It's just the phone. But but that's my setup. That's what I do. Like I said, if anybody ever wants to pick my brains or anything, I'm happy to talk to anybody. The other thing that annoys me a bit with a lot of YouTube stuff is it's like there's this big secret out there. It's like fishing. If somebody's got a fishing spot, nobody wants to tell you. I mean, the fish keep going there. Let everybody in on the secret. You know what I mean? Like let them have a crack. So yeah, like I said, if anybody wants any info off me, shoot me a text, shoot me a thing on Instagram as well. I'm happy to answer anybody's questions. I'm happy to help you set your stuff up if you're in Melbourne or around. I'm happy to do any of that sort of stuff. For me, it's no biggie.
Yeah, that's excellent. I think what I'd like to do is let's put out a challenge for all 6 of us, right? And then after that, you can nominate anybody else. Maybe not shoot on your iPhone because that's going to be tough to be putting it on your bike.
Yep.
Right? But edit everything on your iPhone and publish it to YouTube.
Yep. And the app
that's for everybody to do so.
I'm already regretting this.
Yeah, mine's a work locked down phone, so I can't.
Hey?
Yeah. Mine's a work phone. It's locked down. I can't install apps.
Ah, okay. Or at least an iPad or something. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Just say you shot it. You edited it on an iPhone. We won't know.
Who's gonna know?
We'll believe you anyway. You do good stuff, so we'll believe you. Anyway, so Travis will do that as well. And right, you're right. Yep. So we'll do a video, but edit everything on your vlog. On your phone.
You should make me do it
on your GoPro app, right?
You should make me do it on a computer because I don't do anything on a computer.
Anyway, but it'll be good to be able to do it and show people how it's done, right? I think we rely too much on all these expensive softwares.
The iMovie on the iPhone's pretty good.
I use Splice, it's a free app.
What's it called again?
Splice, SPLIC.
Splice.
Yeah, Splice.
Those are my favorite ice creams too.
Oh, how good are they? How good are they? And I'll tell you what else is fantastic. The Choc Tops from the movies, they've just released them at Coles.
Oh, really?
Oh man.
Damn.
Hey guys, I've got to shoot. I've got to get back to work, and I've got to take some stuff into my dad, I just took him to hospital before. He's not feeling well, so I've got to go get him some stuff, get back into work. Lovely to see you all. Like I said,
hey, thanks for joining us, man.
Hope it all goes well. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll catch you next time. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thanks, Paul. We appreciate it, man.
I should probably do the same as well. Actually,
Actually, we've got to wind up anyway. Probably another 10 minutes or so. We'll stay on, and then
I've got a meeting in 7 minutes, so I might prepare for that.
Sure, man.
Okay.
We hear you.
No worries. Yeah, we hear you.
Thanks for joining us, Webb. We appreciate it.
Emails coming in.
Oh, cheers to everybody. This is real fun. Get to be part of the Dyna-Mic Duo, except it's like the Duo Mic 6 people.
The Dyna-Mic sextuplets?
Or the Earth, Wind, and Fire. Right. All right, man. Cheers. Thanks, Webb.
See you, Webb.
Okay, so we're probably going to wind it down a little bit. If there's any questions that you have, feel free to let us know. We're here. And the guys in the chat as well, if you have any questions, just let us know. We'll try and answer them in the next 7 minutes. And then we'll call it a night. Brett, do you have anything to add, though?
No, man. This has been good first day of live streaming for us. As far as audio goes, if you look at my channel, you'll know I struggle with audio. I wish I could be simple and get it done just like Paul does. But it's just, I don't know. There's just something. And maybe it's because we don't have the big fairings. Maybe that's the secret is the big fairings, because I do feel like that blocks out a lot. Because I think like Blue, Black, and Doyle, he doesn't do anything special either. I mean, and he sounds fine. So I think there's something to having that gigantic windshield fairing on the front that
it does help.
You know,
like even on the Goldwing, that vent in the middle. If you look at mine, you'll see it. If you open that, it hits right on the mic, and you'll get wind noise just as quick as anything. So it is making a big difference.
Exactly. I think the bike that we have, Chopperfed and myself, the Dynas, we don't have any fairing. Mine's just for show, you know. I think it keeps it off the chest, but you know what matters is the helmet, right? And I'm getting it full face, full on onto my helmet. So I'm also struggling with wind noise, and hopefully next week I can show everyone about the new setup that I have, and it works, right? Hopefully, and then we'll see how it goes from there.
Next Wednesday for me, on my seat video that I'm releasing, I put the fairing back on for that episode. I don't know what I was thinking, and you can tell a difference. Like, it's definitely like you can tell the wind is being rushed up and hitting you in the face, and it's uncontrollable. Luckily, I was using the Tascam, so it's still clear and audible. So it sounds basically like the the media mod was using when I was using that 55 or 60 is what it sounded like. But you know, I just gotta remember when I'm vlogging, I gotta take that fairing off before I start riding. His shirt says, "Oh, he just got covered up." Live free and carry.
Oh, yeah, that's a friend of mine makes holsters for conceal and carry.
Oh, the free and carry.
Thanks for sticking around, Tommy G. Appreciate it, man.
Right, guys. I think that's about it for this evening. Right, I think it's pretty late, and I think some of us have to work as well, including myself. Right, and some people have to take care of their dogs and kids.
And both.
So listen, guys, thank you very much for those of you in the side chat that has joined us and stick with us. Jarvis, thank you very much for joining us, and
no problem.
Thank you very much. Don't forget.
Thanks for allowing me on. It's
hey, anytime, man.
Thank you.
It
was fun. I found 2 new channels tonight, so it's great.
Yeah.
So,
thanks for the invite.
And hopefully we helped you get a few more subscribers as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Put out the word as well.
That's cool.
You in your channels. Okay. So thank you very much again, once again, guys, and Brett.
Yeah, so I think next week we should be live on my channel, unless something changes between now and then. But we'll probably shoot it for the same time, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. I think that seems to be working out pretty good for all of our viewers anyway. So I do know I have to work the following morning, so we might not go as far into the night next week. Maybe we'll just cut it at a couple hours. But this has been a great experience. Thank you guys for joining. Again, I am Chopper Fett or Brett, whichever you want to call me. And back to you, Fletch. Go and wrap us up.
All right, man. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us in the side chat. And, of course, Jarvis Biker and Ride Your Ride, thank you very much for joining the Dyna-Mic Duo. And next week, we'll be on Chopper Fett's channel, live, same time, 7 p.m. at MST. And we're out of here. Thank you very much, guys, and take care.